up, Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm. Because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and let's go blue. Let's get this win, win, win.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Brother Numbers, man. I'm here in Hockey Town. Glad to be back. Word all started for me, born and raised in 313. Yo, man, Wings, let's go. Let's get up tonight, man. Glad to be here. Let's go, Wings. Let's get that W over the Blues tonight, man. Go Blue.
Yeah!
There you go.
There we go!
Christmas from the West Coast.
W to the chat! W to the chat!
You know what it is, Detroit. What up, though? W's in the chat.
Hey, what up, though, people? JB Smooth, you cooking up again. I feel like I'm in the Matrix, man. I love this. I love this. It's Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you all for choosing to kick off this, Christmas Eve with your boys, man. This is pretty awesome. We got the crew in here. Shout out to our brother Matthew Broder as well. And it's your boy Brendan, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer. It's a victory show, and it's also a not victory show. Flannel Sam, vet of the squad, vet of the network, all sports knower and Red Wings correspondent. You know what? Hey, what do we say? Merry Christmas Eve?
Yes, Merry Christmas Eve. All I have to say is, obviously,
Happy
congratulations to the Pistons. We'll talk about that more a little bit later, but unfortunately, Braylon Edwards had to witness that crap in person. I'll just say that.
God, that's rough.
Ooh, you know what? Ooh, let's introduce the crew first, and then you got to talk to us about these Red Wings, because right now the Pistons are back in play-in positioning. They look like they're going to stay that way for some time. Kay Cunningham is getting a lot of all-star buzz right now. But the Red Wings, the team that we expected to be able to potentially lock in one of those solid top 6 spots, it's not looking too good right now. So, let me shout out to the Elite Booth. We got KG, Detroit's #1 draft pick in the sound booth. What up, though, brother?
What up, though? Hey, all I wanted for Christmas was a 2-game sweep against the Lakers, man, and I got it. Shout out to the Pistons, man.
Yep. Hey, shout out to the Pistons. I got things to say about that. We're going to talk about it during our Woodward Pistons segment, usually on a Wednesday. We will do that today. JB Smooth, Woodward Sports MVP, in the Denny Booth. What up, though, brothers? Tuesday, we got a victory show. How's it feeling, bro?
Tuesday, another victory show. It's Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope everyone in the chat is doing well. Hey, Pistons got that dub yesterday. They weren't playing against the Lakers,
They got
man.
that dub, and I got the shades here. It's just we're not talking about them yet. We got to talk about another team. And two of these guys that we're about to introduce next, I know they're going to have a lot to say in this opening segment.
Very festive over
Cavassier
there.
Chase and that dude Justin. Hey, what up, though, Cavassier Chase?
Hey, what up, though? Good morning, everybody. Merry Christmas to you all. Hope you're having a good day. Just popping in the chat, so I'm saying what's up to everybody. So
That dude Justin.
Merry Christmas. Let's start this segment.
He's
upset.
Hey, you know what, Flannel? Let the people know what we got on the docket, because obviously Pistons next, and then what? A lot of TLB.
A lot of TLB. I mean, we've got our MVP ballot. We've got our top 10s, which I'm sure is going to, I'm sure my list is going to create some conversation. I will just say that. We're going to talk about potentially any concerns that we have as Lions fans about the defense when they go up against better opponents going towards the playoffs. And you know what? We might even have to give thanks, because it is the holiday season, to the Washington Commanders, because, they did their thing. They're making the pathway to the 1 seed for the Lions a little bit more paved by beating the Philadelphia Eagles. But, first, we have to talk about what happened at LCA last night. It's not just what happened at LCA last night. It's
crazy.
It's not even just that they lost. Losing that game would have been bad. all things considered, seeing as how they're
I hear you, Justin.
34 games in and their playoff hopes are pretty much damn near gone at this point. But it's the fact they get shut out at home, 4-0, no effort, no life, no scoring, no defense, no nothing. And now as we sit with the Detroit Red Wings, they are now 13-17-4. They have the second worst record in the East. They are fourth worst in the NHL in points per game, second worst in PK percentage, and eighth worst in points allowed per game. But other than that, everything's fine and they have a nice singing voice. It's been, let's just be honest, at this point of the season, it's been an absolute disaster. Number one, why does Derek Lalonde still have a job? They have no system. He's lost the locker room clearly. They have no effort. The PK is awful. Their 5-on-5 scoring might be the worst in the entire NHL. To me, that has more to do with coaching than anything else. But one thing that I noticed last night, and not even just last night, you have to go with this game and then the home and home getting swept by the Montreal Canadiens, is I see something this year that looks eerily similar to last season at a certain stretch. One player goes down, and then the team turns into chickens with their heads cut off. Obviously, that happened last year with Dylan Larkin down the stretch, and this year it happened with Simon Edvinsson and this defense because let's just be honest, their defense is awful. They had two good defensemen already with Edvinsson, and now they only have one. Steve Yzerman clearly did not do enough to address this defense in the offseason, and right now, it's looking pretty much hopeless until Simon Edvinsson gets back. And to me, the defensive failings of the season, that is 100% on Steve Yzerman. He put all of his eggs in the Jacob Trouba basket, and that didn't work out. His backup plan was signing Eric Gustafsson. The Justin Holl and Jeff Petrie, which were bad signings from last year, were the holdovers. It's been a disaster so far. It's already looking like they are damn near out of the playoff race, and the season isn't even halfway over yet. And last season, they were 1 point away from being in. We talk about linear improvement every single year, but the line is going from this to down. And that's, to me, where, Derek Lalonde obviously has to be fired, but Steve Yzerman is certainly not blameless. And I haven't been shy about criticizing him before, but I think it's about time some people get on board with Steve Yzerman questioning at best. At worst, I think you could do even more than just question him. I'll just say that.
Sheesh. And you know what? I see Justin over there ready to fire away. I just want to be able to make sure the chat family is hey, and I just see Dante put the super chat in there as well. We're gonna get to it, man. But chat family, as always, you all are the most important part of the Wake Up Woodward family. Go ahead and smash that like button. Let's run it up on this Christmas Eve. But you know what? People are like, man, I don't even want to be so down right now. Xavier, the Red Wings are a complete embarrassment. Jonathan Lord says this, and Steve-O Baby says, I wish Darren McCarty was here for this. Jonathan Lord says, great update. Next subject. Let this Xmas Eve, shouldn't it be a happy show? And Dante with the $9.99 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, no Red Wings talk. They don't deserve the time of day. And I'm giving thanks to the Pistons Alliance for being more entertaining than the Wings. Also, the Wings have the same record as the Pistons. No good.
Worse. They have 4 overtime losses, but I get what you're saying there. And trust me, do you think I want to talk about the Red Wings today? Do you think I want to talk about them in this regard? Absolutely not, but they're blowing their season in real time. The Yzer plan is careening off course in real time. Derek Lalonde is basically should be a dead man walking in real time. This is a team that had playoff expectations that is falling short, and they lost last night in an absolutely embarrassing fashion to the mid-ass Blues, and they got swept home and home by the bad Montreal Canadiens. But you know what else? The Red Wings are bad. They're shitty poopy, as the great Woodward heavyweights say. So, I can't even fault them too much for losing to the Canadiens because they're the Spider-Man meme, and right now the Canadiens are better.
Yeah, and you know what, man? Just look at that dude, Justin's face. Hey, JB, before he speaks, just put the camera on his face while I paint this picture. Come on, chat family. We're a family here, okay? Let's make sure that we can be there for each other. Justin got to get this off his chest so he can have a Merry Christmas.
Justin looked like a Karen on that couch.
He's a changed man, but the Red Wings are pushing him to that place. Look at Justin. We got to be there for our guy. Look at Cavassier Chase, man.
He got the
These
legs
guys
folded,
love the Red Wings.
ready
they
to
talk
call
stuff,
the
and I'm
police.
just saying, I don't know what they're saying, but I know they're smart about it. We got to be there for them right now and for each other. I know you're hurting right now, Xavier D. I know you're hurting right now, Dante 151. But we are there for you. It's just a few more minutes. But that dude, Justin, I know you gotta get the Red Wings heat off your chest right now, bro.
Steve Yzerman, do you even watch the games?
Oh,
like genuinely, I'm asking because as a Stanley Cup winning GM and the captain of this Red Wings team for your career, I question if you even watch the game. Do you even care? Like I don't even know what to think at this point. The fact that this team is so bad, they won't make changes, they have no life, is absolutely astounding to me. They are the reindeer for Santa if they didn't have Rudolph. Okay, they are missing the most critical piece of the puzzle. A good coach, especially when you have a young core that is looking to take steps forward, and you've seen the examples with Mo Sider, how he's kind of plateaued in his development, even though he's great, but he should be better. This whole thing should be better, and that's because of Derek Lalonde. The systems aren't there, the effort isn't there, the team is completely given up on him. This is utterly ridiculous what I'm watching right now. It is a bad product. It's supposed to be linear growth. This is supposed to be the year that you actually are supposed to compete for the playoffs. And yeah, you may have overachieved last year, but it shouldn't be this fucking bad this early in the season. You have to put yourself in a position to be in it the entire year, and you're not. You are already at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. You're going to be picking in the top 10, which is a joke. When your expectations are to make the playoffs, you're going to pick in the top 10. If your name is not Steve Yzerman, you are fired. Let's call it how it is. If your name is not Steve Yzerman, you are in the hot seat right now. But if you're not, you're Steve Yzerman, and we give you that leeway. So now take that leeway and fix this shit. Fire Lalonde. I want to be back from holiday break, and I don't want to see Derek Lalonde on this bench ever again.
Let me talk.
No, that's facts. That's facts. The fact that Derek Lalonde, that's the first step in Steve Yzerman getting back in our good graces as fans of his GM stewardship, of course, not as a player, is to fire Derek Lalonde. There's no reason why he's still here. You see it all the time. And the thing that's so mind-boggling, too, is in the NHL, coaches are fired all the freaking time mid-season. It's a tale as old as time. You see, it oftentimes gives teams that spark. And Derek Lalonde, he just ain't it. And don't get me wrong. When it comes to certain aspects of this team, particularly the defense, he doesn't have much to work with. But Derek Lalonde, it's clear as day watching this team that he's lost the locker room and he's not getting the most out of this team. There's no way. There's no way.
Look, man, I'm looking at the chats right now. Shout out to Stick, man. Shout out to Stick. It's been a year. You know, we both had babies this year, a day apart. Due dates were the same date. And it's been awesome to see how Woodward Sports has just continued to grow through this year, ups and downs. And he believes that the Red Wings need Jared Goff, and I set up a wave of Jared Goff chants in the chat right now. Shout out to you good people out there, man. Shout out to Jared Goff. Absolute Santa Claus for the Detroit Lions.
The Jared Goff chants are the best thing that happened at LCA.
Damn.
Justin is hot, dog.
Justin over there, legs crossed, foot shaking, like he over there like a mom at a parent teacher conference. Man, it's fuck your son cutting up his school.
That's what I told the people, man.
Thank you for that, game.
Just let these guys get this off their chest, man.
Oh,
please,
man.
because there was a lot of people across social media as well who were hot, man. People bought in. They bought in. And you want to see this team perform up to expectations. It'd be different if we're like, oh, man, you know, they're battling right now for that last wild card spot. We're not even talking about that right now. And so it's just like, you know what? I get it. I get the heat. And Flannel was just over there smiling the entire time that Justin was going off. But you know what? We got the victory shades because next segment we got to talk about a team who did get a dub last night.
No, we do. But, of course, we got to hear from Chase first because I know he's reeling as well in some way because we all are.
Let's go there. You're right.
We all are. Go ahead, Chase. Give us your state of the Red Wings.
I'm ready for some cocktails.
How have the Red Wings hurt you?
It's disappointing. It sucks. Like I feel like
Turn the mic towards you.
It sucks. Like I feel like I really kind of let out a lot of my steam. Like when we lost to the Sharks a few weeks ago. From then on, I've just kind of like had a different expectation for this team, and I agree that like. We saw Jeff Blashill get 3 seasons with the Red Wings, and Steve Yzerman cut the cord. This is Derek Lalonde's 3rd season. I mean, we haven't seen any better results. Very likely we just cut the cord at the end of this season. It's probably an end-of-the-year thing. I'm not ready to give up on Steve Yzerman, though. I still like all of our prospects on the defensive core. That seems to be our biggest issue. So I'm just gonna give it a little bit more time before I just want to write him off.
And I get that. Obviously, we're excited about, of course, like ASP and Nate Danielson to go to the offensive side as well. But my issue with Steve Yzerman is that I've seen too many examples, and there's a wide variety of reasons why this is the case. Whether it's bad coaching, whether it's lack of foresight, there's a wide variety of reasons where Steve Yzerman makes signings that, given off of what they did the previous season, make sense, but they come to Detroit and they don't really do a whole lot. You start with a guy like Ville Husso. He comes off a season in St. Louis where he's 7th in the Vezina voting, and he comes to Detroit and has an .893 save percentage in his career here, which is absolutely awful.
And he's ass.
He is ass. He's terrible. He's always been terrible since he was in Detroit. Just nobody wanted to say it in his first year. You look at a guy like Andrew Kopp, who I believe got that contract off of that 16-game stretch in the playoffs that he played with the New York Rangers, where he was over a point per game. But he comes here and is less than a half a point per game. He's more what he was for the rest of his career, which, again, did Steve Yzerman judge him because he was on a heater, or was he looking at him for what he was? I don't necessarily know. You look at Justin Hull, of course, which is another example. The year before he got to the Red Wings, he played 80 games, over 20 minutes a night on a Toronto Maple Leafs team that had their best season in years. They won a playoff series. He comes to the Red Wings last year and is a healthy scratch for much of the season, and this year he is absolutely putrid. Vladimir Tarasenko, another one. I think he's washed at this point, less than a half a point per game, and I'm actually curious to get Justin and Chase's opinion on this. I know we're going a little long with the Red Wings, but I need my therapy. I need my therapy.
Talk it, bro. It's Christmas Eve.
I really don't like Alex DeBrincat. Really don't like Alex DeBrincat. I don't think he's what this team needs. I don't think he... And I get it. It's a lot of it's hindsight. At the time, I was pretty excited because I thought, we maybe needed a star. We needed a goal scorer. We needed a guy who's given you 40 goals in a season twice.
He wasn't afraid to mix it up a little bit.
But that's the thing. He's not a two-way player. And my biggest indictment of Alex DeBrincat, and this really made me turn on him, but I don't think that you can blame me for this. Remember last year when Dylan Larkin went out, it started the tailspin choke job that the Red Wings had to end their season. Alex DeBrincat, when they needed him most, when they needed somebody to step up, had a 20-game stretch where he scored how many goals? 1. And you know what the Red Wings' record was in those games? 5-12-3. He is not a winning player. He doesn't play any defense. He's relatively soft. He's small. I'm not saying that he can't score and have some value, but it's just he hasn't lived up to what we thought we were getting when we signed him. And I'm not saying he's the biggest of the Red Wings problems. It's just, when has Steve Yzerman signed anybody that really has been super impactful on a team that wins? You can't really name it. Obviously, Perron was a decent signing, but he never really contributed to a winning team, although it wasn't his fault. You look at a Wallman, you look at a Gostisbehere, who are both thriving in their homes post-Detroit. It's just... there's a whole lot of mid and a lot of bad as well, and I think sometimes a lack of foresight. So Steve Yzerman, for all of the good that he's done, make better signings, man. That's all I got to say. In this past offseason, although Talbot was decent, you look at Gustafsson as well, and the whole Jacob Trouba fumbling. It's just, I don't know. I'm saying a lot of stuff. I'm having myself a therapy session. It's just, when you see the Red Wings look the way that they have, when you see the way they finished last season, it's not good.
And that's why we cover this. So obviously, from a correspondent standpoint, being close to the teams and such, and making sure that, all the news is aptly reported and that you're able to give your opinion on the situation as well. This is something that you've been consistent with, especially going back to last season, where we even covered them on this show. And you continue to talk about Alex DeBrincat not living up to it down the stretch, especially when Dylan Larkin went out. And then he had one big game, which played a big role. And we're like, okay, we're willing to forgive him. And then that was just it. There wasn't really much else down the stretch. And so it's like, you know what? the potential was there, and I see people in the chat that believe that it might be more on Chris Illich than anything. Dante151, $4.99 super chat says Red Wings and Chris Illich, you get coal in your stockings for not doing anything, and the Pistons and Tom Gores and the Lions, they get candy in their stockings.
I mean, I get it, but I still think in a capped league that people are still jumping through hoops to absolve Steve Yzerman of any blame by saying that it's Illich's fault now. I understand there was the report by Terry Foster actually broke this on BDE about him potentially blocking a Steven Stamkos signing, but I need a higher hit rate. If for all of the praise that he gets, I need a higher hit rate. And when it comes to Alex DeBrincat, I still don't think he gets enough flack for what he did down the stretch last year. He choked like Lily Phillips does on penises last year. Let's just call a spade a spade.
Shit.
And yes, I can say that about Lily Phillips because she's an OnlyFans whore who slept with 100 guys in 24 hours.
Okay.
So that's not out of bounds.
Merry Christmas!
Right. You filthy animals.
Hey, I think that deserves a few likes. Hey, especially this, man, City of Detroit. Like we said, the Around the City back wall is going to continue as much as we can to feature something about the city. And this was Detroit turning up for the draft, just like Woodward Sports turned up for the draft. You know what? You turned up for the draft too, Kavasi Chase, man. I was looking through some of the just the pictures and such from that time frame because we're going to put together something as this draft is approaching. And it was an awesome time. Detroit continued to show out. Hey, we got my guy William Baker in the building as well. What the logo? Is that Nightwing? Is it Batman Beyond? Red Hood. That's what I was going to go next. I love it. I love it. I love it, man. I love Red Hood. But hey, and I see Stickers in the chat. Just he's absolutely enjoying your latest reference.
Yeah, I
Lost it there
I
a little
can't
bit.
say it. I'm not gonna say it.
Well, and like I said, we're doing a lot of Red Wings. Justin, am I out of line? Because I know you're a puck knower. You play the game at the collegiate level. Am I out of line with what I've been saying?
No, you're not. Alex DeBrincat has come in here. He's underperformed. He needs to be the third best player in his line in order to be productive, which is not something you signed him here to be. So yeah, I say the slander is completely correct. And the most important thing I think that you said, which you didn't spend a lot of time talking about, is the fact that Jake Wallman, Oli Mata, Gostisbehere all look fantastic at their next destination. They're not going anywhere special. They went to the Sharks and they went to the Utah Hockey Club. You can say Gostisbehere went to Carolina. That's fair. But the other two went to shitty situations, and they are playing way better than they were in Detroit.
Well, I don't think the Utah Hockey Club situation is bad for Oli Mata. They made a big move for Mikhail Sergachev in the offseason that really flipped their decor. I think they also have Johnny Marino in their back end, too. So I don't think that's
I'm
necessarily
just saying
as bad
Utah's
a move.
not a destination like Carolina.
If we want to talk about the issue with the Red Wings forwards, I don't think we have any real true first liner outside of Lucas Raymond. I think we have a lot of like middle six and bottom six guys, and we're trying to fill out the full four lines with these guys, and that's just not. You can't go top line versus top line against really competitive teams who are going to make the playoffs in this league and consistently win. We have essentially three grind lines and then one first line that we don't really have true chemistry with because we haven't been able to find any chemistry with any lines, and we keep mixing things up all the time. So I think that's really what I think the issue with the offense is. It's not necessarily one specific player. I think it's a little bit of a talent issue. We need better forwards.
Sure. And for the record, I gave a very crude reference when it came to what DeBrincat did last year, and I think he's underperforming to some extent this year. I'm not saying that he is. There's a lot of problems when it comes to this offense and when it comes to this defense. There's players that are underperforming all across the board. Trust me, it's just what we thought we were getting in Alex DeBrincat was somebody who could potentially give you 40 goals. But I think when you really look back at what he was, and again, this is me. A lot of it is in hindsight, but I'm just a jerk off named Flannel Sam. I'm not an NHL GM. When you look back at Alex DeBrincat, I'm not saying that it was all his fault necessarily, but he never won anywhere. He was never shown to be a guy who could play defense really anywhere. He's never really shown that he can be a playmaker anywhere. He's just a guy who scores a lot of goals, which is amazing if you do it. if you don't go 20 games with 1 goal when your team needs you most, if you don't get 27 goals in a season when you're expecting at minimum 30 or 35. That's my problem with a DeBrincat. But the problems, they run very deep on this team. There's a reason why they suck.
I still have faith in Steve Yzerman, though, regardless of my rant. It went from here to a little bit lower, but I still believe.
Hey, here is an interesting one. I'm wondering if this is a graphic, Justin. Chuck Brewer, as we go to break, get to this next segment, says that Kool-Aid, if Gores owned the Tigers or Wings, they'd be so much closer to a championship.
Maybe the Tigers.
Not the Wings. You can't get there by spending money. Like you need to be very strategic drafting, and you need to fill up your farm system to a point where you're ready to compete. You can't just spend money like in baseball and build a roster.
Well, I know the one team that is a little bit closer to winning that Tom Gores does own. That is the Detroit Pistons, man. They get a 117-114 earlier in the morning victory over the Lakers. And I got things to say about this one.
I know you do.
Both teams, bro, on both sides did some things that I thought were pretty interesting. But let's get into that next segment. I know we got to hear from our friends at Planet Fitness.
Absolutely.
Live from the Planet Fitness studio.
Live from the Planet Fitness studio. It's fitness that fits your budget and where your fitness is essential. They have 50+ Metro Detroit locations. You can get a cheap membership at only $15 per month if you want to just be at your home gym and get jacked for the holiday season, New Year's, or Beachbody season that will be here before you know it. Or you could upgrade to the Black Card and get more amenities and get the opportunity to work out at any Planet Fitness across the country. So no matter where you are, you can go work out at whatever Planet Fitness you are close to. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, or other family law issues, Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham will have your back. With 10+ years of experience and 24/7 availability, scan the QR code on the screen or call 248-971-0476. Say Woodward Sports sent you and KDK will pay your filing fee. KDK Law, they've got your back.
KDK Law got your back. Wake up Woodward and Woodward Sports got your back. Chat family, I'm hoping y'all have ours. But right now, those Detroit Pistons, man, it's time for the victory shades because
there we go.
They have been doing their thing.
That's a team.
They have been. That's a team. Since an 0-4 start, the Detroit Pistons have played 500 basketball.
Beautiful.
Come on, man, it's beautiful. They are back in solidly in playoff positioning. The teams that are behind them, I believe, are going to stay behind them the rest of the season. I do believe the Pistons are going to make the play. This has to be the new expectation for those Detroit Pistons. 117-114 win over the Lakers. The Lakers were 16-12 before that game. And you know what? There were some things that I just loved about that one. Since we don't have our Woodward Pistons segment tomorrow, we're going to talk about them today, and they've been winning as well. Just to tee something up here, playoff-wise, they are in 10th spot for that last play-in spot, but they're tied with the Chicago Bulls at 13-17. Just ahead of them, 2 games ahead of them, Atlanta and Indiana tied for the 7th and 8th spot, and then the 6th spot, the Miami Heat at 14-13, who the Pistons, they did beat more recently. So they're just 2.5 games outside of an actual playoff spot, and you've gotten people like Kevin Durant saying that Cade Cunningham needs to be an all-star this year. He has earned it. You saw him duel out there, and against the Lakers, this was funny, man. Right? So earlier in the day, we get the news that, Bronny James is getting called up. Wait, are you serious? Y'all calling up your victory cigar?
Yeah.
Seriously? That's how you thought this was going down? And they brought all the big dogs out. Everybody was healthy for this one against the Pistons. But what did the Pistons do? We were in our bad boys jerseys. That's what we're going to do. And better than we did last year, we're actually going to win in them. On the road, get the Lakers out of here. You're done. We had to wear the all black today for the Lakers. Get them out of here. Shout out to the rookie Ron Holland as well.
Yep.
What a game for him. But we're going to continue to shout out Cade Cunningham. The stats for Cade Cunningham, 20 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds on the night. I know some people were talking about the shooting numbers for Cade. I don't think people understand. That doesn't matter. He is a volume score. And when you factor in the fact that there were 5 shots from behind the arc, the true shooting actually is pretty good for Cade Cunningham. And the overall game score for Cade Cunningham is pretty good as well. And he was able to play defense and go toe-to-toe when it mattered with LeBron James. Everybody is looking at the crossover on Austin Reeves and then the finish with the right hand over LeBron James at the rim. It was just beauty, man. And I definitely want to be able to shout out the rest of the players on here who performed. That is not Tobias Harris.
Let's get right over that.
Jaden Ivey's 18 points, 8 of 15, another game back. Another difference he's made. He and Cade Cunningham in that backcourt, it's looking really, really good. That fire and ice that we thought it could be or that it was billed to be, it is starting to really look more and more consistently that. And how can you argue with the results? Tim Hardaway had a game as well. Simone Fontecchio.
Yeah, he showed
4
up.
4 for the field.
He
2
showed
of 2
up.
from behind the arc. 13 points, 2 rebounds. Get that man to more charity events. Whatever, please, because he's been playing much better since the Kroger event, and he looked happy.
Yeah.
He was there with those families just happy. And it was like, you know what? Get that man to more whatever. He's a family dude. And it was interesting hearing him talk about his family, then being around those other families. And now he's had a couple nice games. Shout out to you, Fontecchio. Ron Holland, 5 of 7 from the field. Bright lights at Tinseltown, 10 points, 4 rebounds. And then Malik Beasley, 21 points, 5 rebounds. Asar Thompson, 8 points, 5 rebounds. The bench looked really good, and Isaiah Stewart is not here. Paul Reed as well, stuffed the stat sheet as it relates to like assists, rebounds, steals, and things of that nature. Just wanted to be able to make sure we shouted out this team because they're right now, in my opinion, putting together a pretty special stretch when you're talking about 500 basketball to start the season, and you get the Lakers taken care of already to start the season. It's beautiful, man.
This is how you make up for the home loss to Utah. You go to Phoenix, you go to Los Angeles, and you take both of those games. You take both of those games, you face some of the best to have ever done it, who are not in their primes, don't get me wrong, but guys like KD and LeBron can still play. They're putting up numbers, and the Pistons come to town and hand both of those teams some L's. You love to see it. If I want to be nitpicky about one thing, you know that opening video that they showed with like the Pistons coming out of the tunnel after the win? The man who was doing the most talking was Jalen Duren, and I'm like, they'd win because of you, bud. But that's okay. That's that. I'll let that slide. I think there's 2 things that stand out to me. One, the bench played the best bench game they played all season. No question about it. As you mentioned, welcome to the season, Simone Fontecchio. We missed you. We could use you now. We got you against the Los Angeles Lakers. Malik Beasley continued to do what he does best, which is just instant offense off the bench. One of the best players at doing that in the entire bleeping NBA this season. All this guy does is make threes and make big shots, and he's been huge for Cade Cunningham. And then you look at Ron Holland and Asar, Paul Reed, awesome performances by all of them. And one thing I would like to retract and stick, listen up. You can call me flip-flop flannel all you want. I'm cool with Jaden Ivey being in the starting lineup. I lied. I didn't lie. I changed my mind.
Join me, man.
I changed my mind. And you were the one at the end that pushed back on me a little bit, and even I was like, can't argue that point. Jaden Ivey could be in the starting lineup. He played great. He was a lot more on a night where Cade wasn't super efficient shooting the basketball. Jaden Ivey was.
Yep.
So you love to see it.
And you know what, though? I have to say something, too, because I know we've pondered a couple things as it relates to J.B. Bickerstaff and the lineups and such. And the more and more I look at what he's doing, the more and more I'm like, you know what? He's just a coach's coach. Mm-hmm. He's a coach's coach. The way that the lineups are predicated right now is this. If Tobias and Tim Hardaway are going to give you something, it's going to be in the first quarter. You're going to know right away. You're going to know right away.
That's a fact.
That's the truth. And you can go to the bench if it's Malik Beasley. Then, hey, look, at halftime, you could talk to these guys, get together, whatever you got to get together. You're going to know right away what's going on. And if it's not working, it's not working. And what they've been able to do is go to that bench a lot more. Imagine as guys like Asar Thompson get more and more into game shape. Don't judge him right now really on anything, because when he gets into game shape, think about what he'll be able to use his speed and athleticism for then. Talk about Ron Holland, who's still a rookie, but we see him consistently going out there now in the bright lights. He had some good moments in the Madison Square. Mm-hmm. He had good moments out at the Boston Garden. And he had good moments now out in LA. I don't know what they call their arena nowadays.
Crypto, I think.
Crypto.com arena.
Crypto.
It's the staples.
But think about it. This is what he's starting to put together now as a rookie. And I can tell that playing in the G League helped him.
Yeah.
And now he's starting to get more comfortable. As this team continues down this path, man, I do believe that this squad has an opportunity to potentially lock in something even higher than just this play-in. They're 500 right now, and they're beating good teams. They're playing with good teams. They are competing. The one that I thought I was disappointed in, that we were like, go out there and just drub the Utah Jazz. Utah Jazz had all their horses for that game.
Yeah.
All of them, from Markkanen all the way down to John Collins. And so they weren't missing at all. And I believe the Pistons felt like that was a disappointment. You look at how they've bounced back now against teams with winning records, teams that are going to go to the playoffs, teams who have players that are going to lead in all-star voting. And Cade Cunningham and this young team mixed with Malik Beasley really driving things as a vet. It's been beautiful to see.
Malik Beasley, man, I cannot say enough great things about that guy. In a season where, shout out Chase, Tobias Harris continues to be bad. I'm going to be nice, bad. Malik Beasley is just the veteran you need off the bench. And you also have to shout out Cade Cunningham, too. Did you know that in the month of December, he is averaging 11.4 assists per game, has another double-double, another 10-assist game, just another way that you can contribute when you're not shooting the ball that great. Obviously, defensively, he's taken a big leap this season. This is just, I'm proud of this team. They could have let that loss against Utah go into this West Coast trip and they kind of crater their season, but no, they didn't. They got it right back on course. You love to see it.
And you know what? We got to shout out Cade Cunningham. I was saving the best for last. All-star that man.
Yes,
period.
sir.
There's no more conversation. And it's crazy to see the outside narrative now. The national people saying, oh man, Cade is taking a leap. Cade already took the lead.
Exactly.
He was already good. It's on y'all that he didn't win Rookie of the Year. That's y'all. Y'all gonna have to deal with that, especially as he continues to launch. You talking about he lost a whole year and he's already ahead of the curve. And this guy said, you know what? No, I want to be here in Detroit. I want to sign this contract. I already knew I was gonna do it. This is what he's saying. And I know his peoples. Some of his peoples are from around the way, from Toledo and such.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, you know what? Good on Cade Cunningham, but we got to shout him out for this as well. NBA's Eastern Conference Player of the Week and Western Conference Player of the Week belong to a Detroit Piston, and who should be a Detroit Piston. Cade Cunningham wins it for the East. Victor Wembanyama wins it in the West. Cade Cunningham put up some dummy stats, man, and it's becoming the norm. When you hear the stats, you realize, oh, that's just the norm. And honestly, we're used to the triple-doubles. It says Cade Cunningham led the Pistons to a 2-1 week with averages of 27 points on 49% field goal, 41% from three, 5.3 rebounds a game, 12.7 assists, 2.3 blocks, 1.0 steals. Oh, there's that 3+ stocks alert.
Yep.
Steals plus blocks for Cade Cunningham. And guess what? 39 flipping minutes a game. The usage is through the roof. And, dog, balling. It says the number 1 overall pick in the 2021 NBA draft holds season averages of 24 points, 7.1 rebounds, 9.7 assists, and is shooting 45% from the field and 38.5% from three during this season, man. His 9.7 assists ranks 3rd in the NBA and is the highest average by a Piston period, since one Isaiah Thomas, who averaged 10 points, 10 assists a game in 86-87. He says Cunningham is currently orchestrating the 18th season in NBA history of at least 23 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds per game, and is only one of 10 players in NBA history to hold career averages of 26-5. My man is balling. He deserves the time to be able to read out exactly what he's doing, and we're seeing them win because of it. And this is a new team. That's why I'm going to continue to highlight 500 records since starting 0-4. That's crazy. And this is a new squad. You usually say, hey, you got to have, they say usually it's a half a season before they get the offensive cohesion. They don't even have the offensive cohesion. This is just Cade Cunningham going absolute just demon time mode, and Malik Beasley saying, hey, oh, that's what we're doing? I can do that too. And they're just going out there, and you're getting these contributions from other people nightly, and this is what you have. Imagine when everything starts to click. Shout out to JB Bickerstaff, and shout out to Trajan Langdon as well, who I know is there's been some news. The Pistons, they are going to try to position themselves to be a team that can be a third wheel in some of these trades that are going down at the trade deadline. So it's going to be interesting to see what goes down, because they want draft picks. That gives them their flexibility back, because the Knicks still own their draft pick, the control of it. And if the Pistons make the playoffs, well, that draft pick goes to the Knicks. So the Pistons, it'd behoove them to be able to try and get some draft capital in this draft, because even if it's not one of those first 5 picks, what if you come away with another player that's cut from the same cloth of a Ron Holland or Bobby Clinton, who also was available last night?
You never. Hey,
yes,
we might
a lot of good news for the Pistons.
A lot of good news for the Pistons, and just one more tidbit on Cade Cunningham's numbers. Now tied for 2nd in the entire bleeping NBA in assists per game. And who is he tied with? Nikola Jokic. That is some pretty damn good company. And the only player above Cade Cunningham in assists per game is Trae Young. And with all due respect to Trae Young, I'd take Cade Cunningham 100 times out of 100 over.
Oh, yeah.
And trust me, I think Trae Young's a good player and gets a little bit overhated sometimes. But Cade Cunningham projects to be much better, in my opinion.
And LeBron James on Cade Cunningham, you can't play him one-on-one with a smaller guard. It's just too big.
Man, I mean, LeBron knows a thing or two about ball. So if he's him, LeBron, Kevin Durant being complimentary of Cade Cunningham, I mean, those are 2 of the best players to ever do it. 2 of the certainly the best of this generation, and they're giving Cade Cunningham their props after Cade Cunningham comes into their house and beats them. That's porn. That's literally porn. Shout out Lily Phillips again.
KG, talk to me about these Detroit Pistons. Shout out to Summer 2 just walked in, man.
Yeah, like K, I mean, what more can you say about this kid at this point? He is literally doing everything for this team. So the national media, they can't ignore it anymore. And like you said, I felt like, back in his rookie season, he definitely deserved to be one of those players to be rookie of the year. They end up giving it to Scotty Barnes of all people. But, it is what it is. No slight to him. He is a good player. But just the way they play defense, man, is what I'm really just impressed with. When they asked JJ Redick, in the post-game press conference, what do you think went wrong tonight? And, what areas do you feel like the Pistons got the better of you? And he said that they got blitzed defensively, and the way Pistons were able to cause turnovers just created a lot of problems for them, man. So the way JB Bickerstaff has transformed this defense, now they're not like a top 10 defense, don't get me wrong, but just the improvement that we've had from previous iterations of the Pistons, I think it goes a long way into the future of what they're going to be able to do. And now that you're starting to get more offensive output from people on your bench, some of your starters are starting to step up a little bit more. I feel like the Pistons can compete with anybody at this point, and they continue to prove that night in and night out, man. So shout out to the boys, man. They working hard.
Hey, shout out to them, man. Shout out to the Pistons, and that's why I'm glad that we took the time to be able to shout out JB Bickerstaff, because I'm going to continue to say he's a coach's coach. And I believe that he's going to have special accomplishments here in Detroit with the way that he handles business and with the way that the team has responded. This team has responded already. You added really one vet that's consistent, a couple other vets that are going to give you what we got out of Bogey and Alec Burks effectively with Tobias Harris and Tim Hardaway. That's just the truth. They're going to give us maybe sometimes less output with Tobias Harris over what we got with Bogey. I would have to say a little bit less, but there's a defensive effort that I guess Tobias brings us a little bit better. But,
better than Bogey.
But nonetheless, you add really just a Malik Beasley, Ron Holland, and hoping that your young players took a certain step forward. Not all of the young players took a step forward.
No.
That's what makes this so impressive of what Cade Cunningham is doing. All you wanted to see is the wins, and now you have a coach that's proving it wasn't about Cade Cunningham. It was about could we put everybody else around him in the right positions, because we still don't got the shooters around him that are consistently going out there and saying, you know what, we're going to be consistently the best team at shooting a three ball. We've seen them go out there and get blitzed by other squads that look like that on a night-to-night basis. And so it's encouraging at this early, knowing that the beginning of this season, that especially at first 10 games, was a gauntlet. And this team sits 4 games under 500. They sit in a postseason spot. They sit 2.5 games outside of 6th place right now.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
It seemed like they starting to hit their stride.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Cade knows he's him.
Oh, yeah.
I think he realizes, wait, no one can guard me now?
Yeah.
Oh, KD saying no one can guard me? Oh, LeBron is saying nobody can guard me? Oh, okay. Go out there and just do work. Shout out to Ashton, the trainer. Shout out to Ashton, the trainer.
No, Ashton putting the work in, because the way Cade uses his body, in certain situations in the low post and everything, his ability to score in the low post this year has been crazy, man. He's using that strength, man. So shout out to Ashton. Whatever you doing, it's working, big bro.
He's got so much control over what happens over the game.
Yes,
he's got so much impact, and he knows. He's learning, I think, as he gets better players around him to use those players and to know that he can find Malik Beasley behind the three-point line, and Malik Beasley is actually going to knock it down. That's big for a guy like Cade Cunningham, a high-usage player, a guy who is more of the Luka Doncic archetype in terms of usage rate. It's been impressive to see. His basketball IQ is off the charts, and he's just growing so much, both as a player with his skill set and with just his basketball IQ, his understanding of the game, and that is coaching in a lot of ways. That's JB Bickerstaff.
His efficiency too. The way he's been able to raise his shooting numbers this year is absolutely great too.
Despite the usage not going down, that's the crazy part. You can't afford to realistically, with the way that the team is currently constructed without another solid facilitator, you can't afford to have his usage rate go down. So to see him get more efficient, that's what's crazy. And that's why Spo is anybody complaining about his turnovers are just crazy. Are there a couple that you would like, oh man, can't you cut those things out? But for every one of those, you guys have to understand that it's the same types of motions and instincts that he's utilizing to also get those 12 assists, 12.2 assists that he averaged during this NBA Eastern Conference Player of the Week status. That's the thing. He just plays the way that he plays. And that's when you understand that's a sign of a good player, that you could turn off the lights and he just shoot the way that he shoots, because the mechanics are what they are. And that's what I see out of Cade Cunningham. He's one of those guys that you can tell he's a gym rat, and you can tell that he is trained well, because all of the motions and all of the movements, they're in succinct. They look very, very similar. I know every single time. I don't know why defenders don't know it, but that kind of reverse pivot baseline dunk on Beasley.
Yeah.
I knew that move was coming, and he does it so well. Even the crossover on Austin Reeves, when you see it, it's what Cade does. The finish at the rim with the complete body control.
Yeah.
That type of stuff. Because
against LeBron.
He used to be an under the rim player though. That's the thing. A bigger kind of, but shorter. Then he just hit this growth spurt, and he never lost that footwork that he was trained at a younger age that made him so effective. And that's the thing. He is one of those guys that he has this kind of hooper feel for it, but he was trained as a basketball player too. And as you're putting it all together with his ability to be a big game finisher and closer, that's where it's just now you got a couple players around him that are responding nicely around him. And if they, in the next season or two, make the necessary kind of roster adjustments around them, the Pistons could be legit. You look at some of these other squads, their futures aren't that safe and secure. The Heat don't have that secure of a future right now.
No, they don't. But the Pistons having Cade Cunningham locked up, as long as he stays healthy, that's the first step in becoming a true contender. Speaking of contenders,
hey, let's get to it.
Jared Goff is on a heater. He played he played great against the Bears. He's been playing great as of lately. And the WUW Crew, we did another excerpt in the MVP ballot where we as a consensus gave our top 3. Is Jared Goff number 1? Is Jared Goff on the list? Where is Jared Goff coming up? We will find that out
just
for
really
sure.
Quickly before I think you got this.
Yes.
This. Hey, shout out Ashton the trainer.
Yes.
I see you in the chats. Thank you for the support as always, man. From the start of this thing, thank you for just always being around, brother. My guys, this is 100. While they sleep, we working. I see you, brother.
That's what's
Shout
up.
out. Appreciate that for sure. But we also appreciate Woodward and Main and the pregame show as well. Woodward and Main hosted by Matt Broder and Terry Foster. Terry Foster, the legend. Matt Broder, the up-and-coming rising star. They have great chemistry together. They are a great way to start your Lions watching day, whether it's on game day or days after game day. Sponsored by Sabbath Coffee Roasters and Taller, your local long drink. And then, of course, you have to go watch the New Holland Brewing pre-game show hosted by these extraordinary gentlemen right here. That was us staying up way too late watching the Pistons win. Not a lot of sleep, but that's okay. That's all right. Sunday game days, you know what? If you need to just get your best Lions coverage, injury reports, fantasy sit and starts, you got to tune into the pregame show. It's the best Lions pregame show that you will ever find. It's entertaining. On home games, they host at a second best bar, and sometimes I believe the next one is actually going to be hosted by the Woodward Heavyweights, so whenever they step in, they do a great job as well. It's Woodward and Main and the pregame show.
Get energized for the holidays during the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Now through December 20th, join for $1 down, $15 a month. And recharge this holiday season and beyond in the clean and spacious judgment-free zone, filled with equipment for every workout. Stay motivated with free fitness training and lots more. Celebrate the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Join for $1 down, $15 a month. Hurry, offer ends December 20th.
The holidays are here. Don't know where to get your friends and family? Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted for the Lions Super Bowl run. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. So make sure it's a happy holiday for you or the sports lover in your life. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Fuel your Lions fandom with the perfect cup and become a subscriber of Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Whether you're gearing up for a big game or savoring a quiet morning with the Wake Up Woodward Morning Show, Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted specialty coffee delivered right to your door. So you know they are treating you right. Just like that dude Justin around here right now, treating the crew right, man. Shout out to you, bro. Head to www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com. Choose your favorite roast. Use code Woodward to get 25% off your subscription order. Awaken and wine. Support local and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters. And then, attention sports fans. Don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursday during Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury advice. You guys got to trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. Hey, and we are back. What up, though, people? It is Wake Up Woodward. Thank you guys for choosing to kick off this Christmas Eve with your WUW Crew. We got the whole entire WUW Crew extended family in the building. Shout out to our brother Matthew Broder as well. But what up, though, Summer? You're in the building, live, in effect. What up, though?
What up, though? How's everybody doing?
Hey, it's going good, going good, man. Hey, Pistons won last night. We're about to talk about the Lions who are winning. Any other statement before we get into this Lions?
Just a huge win overall by the Pistons. All-star Cade Cunningham.
Hey.
Simple as that.
You guys heard her. If Summer said it, you got to do it. All-star Cade Cunningham. But we got to get into this MVP discussion.
Yes.
Because Jared Goff has refused to allow people to remove him from the discussion. It doesn't matter. Even after 5 interceptions. And I was thinking, I'm glad that we covered it right after that because it was like, you know what? No, I pushed back on this notion that he shouldn't be in this conversation still just because of that. You look at the moxie to be able to clean all that up and put your team in position to win. He's due one bad game. And since then, you know what? Jared Goff has had really good games. He's been a big reason why they've won or either had opportunities to win, despite what we see going on the defensive side of the ball. But Josh Allen has been pretty special this year, as has other quarterbacks. So we got to get into this top 3. We do have our WUW Crew ballot. It has been filled out. And so we got to give the people what the composite results were.
JB, throw it up there. As we see, we've got Lamar Jackson 3, Jared Goff 2, Josh Allen 1. I will give this caveat before I pass it around the room. Josh Allen did not play well against the Patriots. The only reason why he is still ahead of Jared Goff is because they ended up winning. They kind of escaped in a certain way. But if he does something like that again and Jared Goff has another game, if they go into San Francisco and Jared Goff has another 3-touchdown zero interception game, maybe this is flipped a little bit. But I still think Josh Allen has done enough to retain the number 1 spot for now. But there's still quite a bit of football left to be played.
Yeah, and it's really tipping the cap because we put a lot on what that game was going to be between the Lions and the Bills and how that game was going to be a narrative driver. And it's interesting enough, I thought that the winner was just going to be the clear-cut favorite, and all I believe it's done is given Josh Allen a little bit more goodwill over Jared Goff because Jared Goff has continued to keep the pressure on. He is not conceding this race. And when you talk about what he doesn't care about if he gets the MVP trophy, that's true, but I do believe he cares about if he has an MVP type season. If he can look back at his record and say, but I deserved it though, but I know that I went out there and I performed, because that is the measure of what all of us are doing. If you don't care about how you're performing, then why are you doing it? Yeah. And that's what I care about with Jared Goff. He does care. If he cares about getting up on a podium after he just housed the Packers in their own house, and he's telling Ryan Fitzpatrick, bro, I ain't no poor man's anything. Like, how did you hear that? You're listening to Ryan Fitzpatrick talk? Before the Packers game, but he cared about that, and he went out there and he made sure that he said it. And that was David Montgomery was sitting there at the time, probably still trying to really get to know this team. Like, oh man, I love my quarterback. Because Jared Goff has continued to be the guy that says your narratives and your ability to try and always throw dirt on me the first time that you think that something is down. Get that out of here. If you don't prepare for us as if we're the big dogs, hey, you know what? 82 yards on you.
Hey, I see a couple people in the chat. They have a Saquon Barkley at 1. And here's the thing. Saquon Barkley is having what could end up being an all-time great season, depending on how the Eagles finish and how he finishes. More on how he finishes. And he did his part in the Eagles game against Washington. But fortunately for the Lions, the Eagles were not able to pull that one out. And if you want to be... Given the fact that we have these quarterbacks listed right there who are having great years on teams that are really showing out, if you want to win the MVP as a running back, I truly think you have to do something crazy like break Eric Dickerson's record, and the Eagles would have had to have been like 15-2. So it's no disrespect to Saquon Barkley whatsoever. He would be on my runners up. The thing that's kind of funny though about this list, and I think we would all agree with this one, just going off the numbers, you could argue that Lamar Jackson should be 1. First in the NFL in passer rating, first in the NFL in yards per attempt, 37 touchdown passes to 4 interceptions while also having 765 rushing yards. The man is having twice the year that he did last year, and last year he actually won the MVP. It's just with the Ravens, why I put him at 3 or why we put him at 3 is because they've lost a few too many games. That performance against the Raiders early on in the season, I think you got to knock him for that. That performance in the first game against the Steelers, you got to knock him for that. Only leading his team to 19 points against the Eagles. It's really splitting hairs. It's just you have to put up great numbers and you have to be on a division-winning team, preferably like a 1 or a 2 seed. And that's why Lamar Jackson, if we're splitting hairs, to me and to us is at 3.
Yeah, and you know what? D'Amico Ryans, he believes that Lamar Jackson should be number 1, especially after what the Ravens did to the Texans. And you know, I believe that these players here, all the players really in the top 4. And maybe you have to, if you say top 5, because I remember I asked you who your 4 and 5 is, and we said potentially Barkley, and we said you got to include one Sam Darnold in there.
Sam Darnold.
Is there? Let me know, guys. How would you round off this 4 and the 5 here? What's your top 5? Obviously, the top 3 is where we wanted to be able to narrow this list down, because I think it is going to be. It's harder choices to make. In the top 5, you get to honor everybody. In the top 3, you're going to have to get more granular with what you're doing here. I believe that these guys at the top of the list have been the ones all season who've kept themselves in the conversation despite some narratives that have worked against them. So you got Lamar Jackson. You could talk about some of the losses. You could talk about Josh Allen. He has more losses than Jared Goff, and he hasn't looked necessarily the best in some of the wins. Jared Goff, he had the one bad game, but he's consistently lifted this team all season. You want to talk about the guy who's done it more consistently? It's Jared Goff.
Jared Goff, and because we're a Detroit sports station, we got to give our love to what he's done. He's second in a lot of categories. I'll just say that. Second in the NFL in completion percentage, second in yards per attempt, second in passer rating, second in passing yards. The Lions are the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL. Jared Goff is certainly putting up an MVP caliber season. It reminds me a little bit in terms of what he's doing and how he's impacting the team of the season Matt Ryan had in 2016, which is kind of ironic that we're mentioning Matt Ryan and Jared Goff in the same sentence. But we're talking about 2 quarterbacks that had already been really, really good that just took this leap in a season to where they're just putting up monster numbers. I think Jared Goff will follow up the rest of his career better than Matt Ryan did. But the point is that Matt Ryan won the MVP in 2016, and Jared Goff's season he's having reminds me a lot of what he did back then. And oh, by the way, that Falcons team went to the Super Bowl. Hopefully the Lions get a different result than the Falcons, maybe all-time choke job in sports history.
And I got to ask you guys this as well. As the Detroit Lions hold their own destiny in their hands as it relates to the number 1 seed in the NFL, does Jared Goff and Dan Campbell, do they hold postseason awards right now in their hands based on these last 2 games? Do they control their destiny?
Jared Goff,
go ahead.
Yeah, Jared Goff, I would say it's a bit tougher in the race that he's in, because when you look at Lamar, you look at what Josh Allen is doing, it's going to be tough. But Dan Campbell, who else are you really putting in that Coach of the Year spot?
Kevin
to be
O'Connell.
honest,
Kevin O'Connell keeps being a hot name.
I keep hearing Kevin O'Connell, but I feel like where your team is at matters, and unfortunately, they are behind the Detroit Lions in terms of the NFC North and just the NFC in general. So I would give Dan Campbell the edge in that category, but I can't sweat anybody that says Kevin O'Connell just because of the season that they had, the expectations that were on them to begin the season. Nobody thought that they would be, in a neck and neck race with the Lions at this point, probably for the NFC. So, it is what it is. But
if you sweep them,
I think Dan Campbell, it's his award, man.
Yeah. What up, Dog Flannel?
No, I've said it before. I think whichever team wins the NFC North, that coach is going to be Coach of the Year. And I think it will ultimately be the Lions, and it will ultimately be Dan Campbell. I think when you look at both of those coaches, and this is why I think Dan Campbell actually controls his own destiny, whereas Jared Goff doesn't necessarily. I agree with KG on that one. No matter what happens in that 49ers game, if the Lions beat the Vikings, they're the 1 seed, which is an awesome position to be in. And they both have things working against them. Dan Campbell has had to deal with a lot of injuries and keep his team afloat. And Kevin O'Connell, I mean, before the season, I think their over-under was like 6.5 or 7.5, and Sam Darnold was the quarterback. That's a very, whether Sam Darnold was always better than people think, which I believe is true or not. That really works in terms of the narrative. If you can have Sam Darnold lead your quarterback to a 15-2 division win, you're going to get Coach of the Year. But I ultimately think it will be Dan Campbell. The problem with Jared Goff in terms of controlling his own destiny is the next couple of weeks, the Lions could very well win both those games. Jared Goff has 7 combined touchdown passes, no interceptions. Josh Allen could do the same thing. And I still think that he would hold the lead if they continue to win and he continues to put up monster numbers.
That's a fact. Narratives matter with this award, unfortunately. Yeah. And they wouldn't even put Jared Goff above Josh Allen at this point. I know they wouldn't because of the head-to-head.
That game is going to come. We knew it, and I'm not going to be mad at it. Yeah. And we voted on this. We were like, you know what, we're okay with it, even if we had differences with number 3. But you know what? He's continued to do this and that's keep himself in the conversation. Skydog 722. He says, Kool-Aid, if it's about wins, shouldn't Patrick Mahomes be leading MVP candidate? No. You didn't listen to the nuance here. I stated that those other 2 players have less wins than Jared Goff, but that what Jared Goff has been doing, other than the Texans game, he's been doing more consistently all season. We can look at the other quarterbacks and say that their teams have literally won some games despite the fact that they haven't necessarily played that well. Whereas with Jared Goff, you go game by game by game by game by game by game, and he's putting up perfect halves. He's putting up perfect games. And he's being the big part of the reason why this offense doesn't have to really worry at all. That's what I stated about him. And it's translating to those wins. There are games where if he went and had a bad game or 2, then we would have a couple more losses than we do right now, and he would be completely out of the MVP conversation. And so I wanted to be able to draw a correlation between how consistently good Jared Goff has been this season as it relates to the fact that the Lions actually don't have that 3rd or 4th or 5th loss that some of these other players who want to be considered in the MVP race have right now. Jared Goff has a big part to do with that.
Well, yeah, and when it comes to the MVP race, who usually gets it, it's usually a quarterback who's putting up monster numbers on a team that wins the division, usually the number 1 seed. The thing about, and this is coming from me, so stop typing, everybody. Patrick Mahomes just does not have the numbers for it. The Kansas City Chiefs are winning a lot of games. They have the best record in the NFL, and I believe that Patrick Mahomes has a bigger part in that than I think he's even getting credit for. But he has 23 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. His passer rating is in the low 90s. You're not going to win the MVP when you do that. And I love Patrick Mahomes, and I think he's already arguably the 2nd best quarterback to ever play the game. That doesn't change the fact that he's nowhere near an MVP candidate this year. Like, he's not impacting his team this year the way that, say, a Josh Allen is. And with Josh Allen, I think what's impressed me about him, it's the fact that he's cut down on the turnovers. He has 37 total touchdowns passing and running while only 6 interceptions. And when I say what I'm about to say, it might get misconstrued, but let me explain. Josh Allen, to me, is the closest thing we have in the NFL to a one-man show. I'm not saying that he doesn't have good players. I'm not saying James Cook isn't a good running back. I'm not saying that someone like Khalil Shakir hasn't developed. I'm not saying that Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid aren't solid tight ends, but they don't have that all-pro receiver. They don't really have anybody on defense who's in contention for Defensive Player of the Year or leading in interceptions or sacks and anything like that. And Greg Rousseau, good player. Ed Oliver, good player. Christian Benford, good player. It's just Josh Allen is really the only must-see aspect of this Buffalo Bills team. And this defense, which has started off the season strong, is now outside of the top 10 in points allowed per game. So to me, why Josh Allen is number 1 is because he has done, I would say, the most with the least. And that's not a knock on anybody else. It's only pro Josh Allen. Not anti-Jared Goff, not anti-Lamar Jackson, not anti-Saquon, not anti-Darnold. It's only to uplift Josh Allen and nothing else.
So you do believe he has, obviously, I believe he has less offensive weapons around him than Jared Goff. But I do believe Jared Goff is having to uplift a team that is much more depleted defensively.
1,000%. Like all these things are true. And that's why it's such a close race and why I would give anything to put Jared Goff
That's
one.
why that game matters.
And that's why I'm saying, next week, don't let Josh Allen have another stinker and Jared Goff have another 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Then he controls the narrative.
We might just put Jared Goff way up at number 1. But what Josh Allen has done the totality of the season to really uplift the Bills is incredible, as has what Jared Goff has done with the Lions.
Yeah, and Skydog 722 did want to make sure that this was out there. He said, Kool-Aid, I had to throw that out there as it relates to it shouldn't be just about the wins. He said, I do have it this way, though. His MVP, Barkley, Allen, Goff, in that order.
I mean,
I can't be mad at it, but I see it slightly different. Well,
they're not going to give it to a running back.
No, they're not. And Saquon, not this past game, but the game before, he rushed for like 63 yards. I truly think he has to break Eric Dickerson's record for him to get it, which is still in reach, but that's a very, very tall task. And speaking of discussions that are going to happen, top 10s.
Hey.
Let's do that when we get back. You are not going to want to miss mine. I will just say that. Everybody else is sure, but
We already know the Chiefs are going to be at number 1.
we don't know that because
I'll bet so much money on it.
Because we haven't came back yet. But tell us about where we at, Lady Jane's?
It's Lady Jane's and Caesars.
Yes. Lady Jane's, yes, and we got a super chat that we're gonna read on the other end of this ad read, man. This is pretty dope. But walking any Lady Jane's haircuts from in today, open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy $20 haircut special, scalp massage, a hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment for one of our talented stylists. Take advantage of our $20 haircut special today. All you gotta do is scan that QR code somewhere on the screen, and when you do, you get that coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. It's wicked awesome.
Did you want to read the super chat or?
You know what? We'll do it when we come back.
All right, cool. Then let me tell you guys about Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Scan that QR code on screen. Use code word Woodward1000. You can deposit up to $1,000, and all you have to do is place a minimum of a $20 bet. And you know what? If it doesn't hit, they'll throw it right back into your account with no questions asked. Hey, you could have bet on the Packers yesterday. Minus 14, you cashed out on that because the Saints are terrible. Anyway, Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Make some money tonight.
Get energized for the holidays during the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Now through December 20th, join for $1 down, $15 a month. And recharge this holiday season and beyond in the clean and spacious judgment-free zone, filled with equipment for every workout. Stay motivated with free fitness training and lots more. Celebrate the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Join for $1 down, $15 a month. Hurry, offer ends December 20th.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
You give to the Salvation Army. Your donation makes it possible to serve our community's most vulnerable. 24 hours a day, 365. The Salvation Army Metro Detroit's 2024 Red Kettle Christmas campaign is going on right now. And even though the goal is high, anything that you can give always helps. Your contribution will help provide love beyond Christmas to individuals in need of food, shelter, and just compassion. Scan that QR code on the screen or go to donate.sagreatlakes.org so you can donate today.
What up, though, people? We are back. It is Wake Up Woodward. Thank you guys for kicking off today with the WUW Crew. It's your boy Brandon Dan, Detroit Kool-Aid. We got Flannel Sam, the vet of the squad and network, Red Wings correspondent, all sports knower, and the whole rest of the cast and crew, man. It's a full family affair here at Wake Up Woodward. And you know what, man? We need you guys to go ahead and smash that like button. Gotta treat it right, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, KG, you ready, brother? It's time to satisfy that like button.
Why not?
Hey, let's rock, man.
Hey, listen, Twas the night before Christmas and all through the land. I know you got your phone sitting right in your hand. So why don't you just go ahead and smash that like button real nice and real slow? Give it that Christmas cheer that I know you got inside of you. I appreciate you.
Hey, let's go. Hey, you know what? Hey, smash that like button. Hey, it would be a perfect Christmas gift for us today here at the Wake Up Woodward morning show. We got 347 in there, man. It's dope. But Nick is sent in a $4.99 super chat. He says, Lions Tangent. Congrats to Mr. Tom Kennedy, TK85, who, thanks to Sunday's game, qualified for an NFL pension. Shout out to the Lions organization. That's awesome on there, man.
Congratulations on the pension, and congratulations for your 0 receptions for 0 yards, which is exactly what he's going to be the rest of the season. I was waiting for some of you MFers to victory lap him catching a punt.
Shout out TK85. Hey, that's one of your godsons, JB Smooth. Talk to me about it.
TK85, he's back. He's back. He's finally back there out on the field. I wish he would have gotten the end zone, but it is what it is. You got it the next game, TK85. I believe in you.
Hey.
Maybe, you know what? Week 18, if they have it all sewed up by then, maybe he does get in the end zone. Then I'm open to that possibility.
Shout out to Speakeasy as well. He gets his MVP list in just before we get into our top 10. We got to dissect Flannel's list. But Speakeasy says, of the heavies, Josh Allen 1, Saquon Barkley 2, Lamar Jackson 3, Jared Goff 4, Sam Darnold 5, and then he puts a throwing up emoji after Sam Darnold.
Nobody wants to say it. It's just factual. He's having a great year. And yeah, like I think our fives are all the same. You have Goff a little bit lower than I do, but that's all well and good. Last year was a very weak MVP class. This year's a very strong one. And Joe Burrow, you could add him to the conversation if the Bengals were worth a shit, but they're not. But anywho.
Hey, you know what? Let's get into this top 10, Flannel. I am intrigued right now.
Yes.
I am very intrigued. Let's get into this, JB Smooth.
Well, not to spoil the list, so I cut it in half for you. So this is top 5, the bottom 5 for you right now.
Ooh, the Rams on there.
Number 10, the Los Angeles Rams. Because I think I don't want to see them in the playoffs. I'll just say that. With Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, if he has that full complement, I think they could be dangerous. And in the last 2 years, they have drafted Kobe Turner, Braden Fisk, Byron Young, and Jared Verse on that defense. And they've won the last 2 games because of their defense, even when their offense didn't really show up. So they're showing to be a team that can win in a variety of ways and can be very explosive like they were against the Buffalo Bills. One of the most impressive single wins of the season. At number 9, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've fallen off a bit. I see them as a team that is going to go one and done in the playoffs. I like their defense a lot, but they don't look the same without George Pickens, although they're getting him back. Russell Wilson, although I'm higher on him than most, is what he is at this stage in his career. I think there's a ceiling to them. They're going to make it, and Mike Tomlin should get credit for that, by the way, but I don't think they're going to do jack in the playoffs. At number 8, the Washington Commanders. Thank you, by the way, I mean, we have a lot of thanks to give to the Philadelphia Eagles as well, but thank you to the Washington Commanders. They've continued to just win games. Their defense has been better than people thought it would be. Their running game is stout, led by Brian Robinson and Jaden Daniels. Terry McLaurin's having a career year. And Jaden Daniels, we're going to look back at this rookie season as one of the best rookie seasons we've ever seen. He's been amazing. At number 7, the Baltimore Ravens, who got a huge win over their nemesis, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are performing out of their minds. If their defense can keep it together, if their defense shows up in the playoffs, they're actually a legit Super Bowl contender, in my opinion. It's just that's been the question for most of the year. And of course, if Lamar shows up in the playoffs or not. But still, with 5 losses, I can only put them at 7. At number 6, the Green Bay Packers. One of the best teams in the NFL against all teams but the Lions. We saw them last night. They beat the New Orleans Saints, who right now I think would lose to a Wayne State. But that's still, that's a win. Jordan Love's having a nice year. Josh Jacobs has been a great pickup. Xavier McKinney's been a great pickup. And you know who I noticed last night? Edgerrin Cooper, man. Yeah. The dude is a baller. I'm so mad the Packers got him. But it's all good. The point is that they're a really good team. They just, the Lions are their bullies.
Beat up on the Seahawks last week, too, or the week before.
Absolutely, they did. All right. Put it up there,
Time
JB.
for it.
Yep. Number 5, Philadelphia Eagles. That may be a little bit too low to some. I believe if Jalen Hurts plays that game, they probably win. But still, they've got some holes, and I think that Nick Sirianni will ultimately end up being a ceiling killer. I will just say that because he will do something stupid in the playoffs. At number 4, the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen is still having a MVP caliber season. James Cook is playing really well. That defense has fallen off a bit, but as long as Josh Allen is their quarterback and their defense can give them enough and they can continue to have James Cook be good, this is a team that could very much win the Super Bowl. At number 3, the Minnesota Vikings. Those goddamn Vikings just keep winning games, and you can't ignore it at this point. They go into Seattle, a very tough place to play, and they win. Helped out a bit by the Seahawks choking, I will admit that, but Sam Darnold made some plays. Justin Jefferson's the best in the NFL at his position. Jordan Addison's one of the better number 2s. TJ Hawkinson's a damn good tight end. Their O-line's good. They have 2 players with double-digit sacks. Andrew Van Ginkel, to me, is maybe the leading candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. To me, he won't win it, but he has 11 sacks and 2 pick sixes. This is a team that has way overshot expectations, and Sam Darnold is having an MVP caliber season. At number 2, the Detroit Lions. The reason I have them at 2 and that other team at 1 is because they are more injury depleted, and they did lose against the Buffalo Bills. The Chiefs are a healthier team. I'm not saying that the Lions can't beat the Chiefs if they meet up in the Super Bowl. It's just a week-to-week thing, and right now I have the Detroit Lions almost entirely off the backs of they just have a lot of players on IR. And at number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, and I don't give a damn, because I actually have some numbers to back up why they are number 1. I'm not just going to say the refs or luck or anything like that. The Kansas City Chiefs, first off, they should get respect being a 2-time defending Super Bowl champion and being 14-1. But did you know that the Kansas City Chiefs are the number 1 team in the NFL in third down percentage? Is that a big deal or not a big deal? Is that a big deal or not a big deal? It's a huge deal. It's one of the hugest deals. They lead the NFL in 10-plus play drives, which is what they've done throughout the season and throughout the entire Patrick Mahomes era, at least since 2022 after Tyreek Hill left. And they also have 16 consecutive wins in 1-score games. And I know a lot of people will say, refs, luck, devil magic. That plays a factor. But do you know what else plays a factor? They execute in the clutch unlike any team I've seen since the dynastic Patriots. And that, to me, is not even disputed. You've seen it with their playoff runs. You saw it with the Super Bowl last year, the Super Bowl the year before that. We've seen that with multiple games this season. They convert their third downs, they sustain drives, and when it's time to lock in for crunch time, they are absolute money. So I'm sure this list, if it were to be voted on, is probably going to get 100% approval, right?
No.
The chat is
not happy.
They're not that happy about it right now. They're not that happy about it. Yeah.
I'm surprised you had the Bills lower than the Lions, seeing that they lost. Head-to-heads don't mean a lot to you, I see.
No, because the Bills, they've lost more games, and they didn't look impressive against the Patriots.
I understand.
Like, they did the bare minimum to win that game.
You think the Bills would beat the Vikings, though? Or you
Home
think
and
the
home.
Vikings would beat the Bills?
I think home and home. I know that's a cop-out. On a neutral field, on a neutral site, I'd pick the Bills because of the Josh Allen factor. But it's right now, I still got the Vikings ahead of them. They have they have the exact same record as the Lions, people.
This is a
I couldn't care less.
I have a question though. Like, would you call like 16 straight one-score victories like not like just doing the bare minimum to win as well? I mean, it's still winning at the end of the day.
Well, it's not. It's 16 straight in one-score games, so it's not all of their 16 wins have been one-score games. Although, to be fair, most of them have. But that's what winning teams do. That's what all-time great teams do. Like, it's the NFL. There's a lot of parity. And as I've said before, you know that they're great in clutch situations because you saw them do it literally in the Super Bowl last year against the Ravens last year in the playoffs, where the Ravens were the ones doing the choking and the Chiefs were staying steady, where the Buffalo Bills were missing a field goal to tie it and the Chiefs were staying steady. When the 49ers literally did not know the overtime rules, took the ball first, kicked a field goal, and then the Chiefs got the ball back and scored a touchdown. They're just money when it comes to those situations, and that matters, especially come playoff time when most games are going to come down to who makes a play during winning time and who doesn't.
So at what point have the Minnesota Vikings proven that they can do things like that and win in those clutch situations like how the Chiefs have done, the Lions have done, that makes you be like, oh, the Vikings still have the same record than the Lions, when we all know who Sam Darnold is, who the Vikings are, and who the Lions are, that we're going to pump them when they come to Ford Field on January 1.
I will say that they have been front runners like a lot of the year. You got to be real about it.
I understand, but they made the big interception against the Seahawks. I get that was a bad throw by Geno Smith. They've won a ton of close games. That's what they've done. And I get it. There have been a couple where they played down to competition, like against the Jaguars. I'll admit that. That was maybe the single most unimpressive win of the entire season by anybody. It's just, I'm not even saying that the Vikings are ahead of the Lions. I actually have them below the Lions. I think this idea that the Minnesota Vikings should be like the number 9 team at 13-2 is lunacy. And to say that like we know who Sam Darnold is, we actually don't know who Sam Darnold is. Sam Darnold
at this point they deserve to be in the top 5. I would have had them at 4, but I'm not. You got to give them credit. They do continue to win, but just a lot of their victories have been okay. We get a big lead early, and we got to hold on for dear fucking life in order to close this thing out.
Sometimes that's the NFL, though. I see the Lions win that way a lot of times, and with the Vikings, I did send one in to JB Smooth.
Yep, I got it.
So we got to get that on there, especially for our Lions fans out there, man. But you know what? I don't know. The Vikings were that team to me that when the games that we played last year against the Packers and against the Vikings, I believe that the Vikings were just a stable quarterback away from being the legitimate number 1 threat to the Detroit Lions. And when they got them in our preseason, predictions, that was one of the things that I continued to hammer. I believe the Vikings are that team. They're going to be the one that proves to be the bigger threat to the Detroit Lions, just because of the way I thought they were structured. And I believe that they had the components to beat not just the Lions potentially, but a lot of the other teams in the NFL. Sam Darnold knows how to get the ball to his playmakers, and he doesn't turn the ball over a lot.
Yeah,
and especially when you pair that with whatever they get from the running game. But do you got that 10?
Oh yeah, I got it.
All right, gotta put it up there, man. Let's rock. Got Houston Texans.
No Seahawks this time.
No Seahawks this time. No Seahawks. I sent to another one that has Texans corrected, but Houston Texans at number 10. I couldn't quite put the Rams there. Not yet.
Yeah.
The Texans, I thought they lost a tough game.
Yeah.
But overall, I believe that's a squad that's formidable still. Washington Commanders, you talk about a big dub. You got to be able to say what up, though, to the Commanders, especially after the big victory over the Eagles. Baltimore Ravens, we already understand that Lamar Jackson putting up an MVP caliber season, and he still has these Ravens as a squad to be feared in the AFC. Green Bay Packers, I never want to put them on any list, but they deserve to be there. They did clinch a playoff spot as well. So they're going to be in the tournament, as Aaron Glenn calls it. Pittsburgh Steelers, that's a squad that is very intriguing to me. Like, if the Lions make the Super Bowl, when the Lions make the Super Bowl, if it's a Pittsburgh Steelers there, that's one of those teams in the AFC that I believe is cut from the same type of, physical, aggressive, just goonish type cloth that the Detroit Lions are cut from. I think it'd actually be a pretty cool clash. Philadelphia Eagles, I wanted to drop them further, but I just couldn't. If Jalen Hurts was in there and they lost that game with Jalen Hurts in there, then maybe you say this is one that's a referendum on their full team. But I do believe if Jalen Hurts is there, maybe they're able to do a few more things, including control the time of possession better. And during the winning moments, Kansas City Chiefs, I have them 4. Minnesota Vikings, I have them 3. The record, it proves a lot right now for what they're doing. Buffalo Bills, I was sitting here going back and forth, like, do you put the Bills 1? Do you put the Lions 1? I'm going to put the Lions 1. I've liked the way that they've looked since bouncing back from the Buffalo Bills loss. And I haven't really liked how the Buffalo Bills have looked since they've played the Detroit Lions. So as it relates to power rankings, I do believe in terms of trends, the Lions right now have everything in front of them in terms of the North, in terms of the narrative that Jared Goff can set in this MVP race, as well as Dan Campbell as it relates to, I already believe he's coach of the year, but you hear all of the conversation drumming up with the Vikings. Win the North, beat the Vikings, win all of these awards, get your first round bye, and be on the way to the Super Bowl. But, hey, had to put the top 10 out there for this week.
Oh, man, Kool-Aid, why are you such a Vikings glazer? Sam Darnold's the worst quarterback ever! Every single one of the Vikings wins have been fraudulent. If it wasn't for luck, they'd be 2-13. Am I doing this right?
No, bro, look.
Be fair.
They
Be
are
fair, chat.
13-2. Like, seriously, who predicted the Vikings to be there? Even I was bullish. And I wasn't predicting like that last game was going to actually matter. But it actually matters.
Yeah.
Unless the Vikings just crap the bed down the stretch here, which they have an opportunity to do. And you know what? That will determine or dictate where they're going to be in future lists. But up to this point, listen, that's the one place that we will definitely kumbaya within our list is Minnesota Vikings right now. I do believe that they deserve to be number 3 team.
Yeah. No, and I wasn't. I was referring my rant towards the chat. Certainly not at you. We're kumbaya.
We know. Kool-Aid, I think you got the Steelers too high, man. They done had a couple back-to-back rough losses, man, to the Eagles and to the Ravens. So I would drop them lower. Overall, I like your list. I mean, we got pretty much all the same teams in my. I made an argument for Washington to be a little bit higher than that, but you got the Ravens right there, so I would have the Ravens a little higher.
Ravens and Steelers.
Yeah. Yeah, but overall, solid list. You got the Lions number 1. I get it. They did lose to the Bills, but I get it. I get it.
Just a little
I get it.
You could probably flip-flop those, but
no,
I'm not. I like the Lions. They've looked better. This just the trends.
Lions 1 is fine with me. Like the only
it's arguable. It's all arguable. I think the Chiefs are even arguable this particular week because they've looked better just in general.
I'd have the Chiefs at 2.
I would have the Chiefs.
I'd have the Lions at 1, the Chiefs at 2, the Bills at 3, and the Vikings at 4 probably.
Okay.
And for everybody giving me shit about the Vikings, you have them right about where I do.
Well, if Jalen Hurts wasn't hurt, I'd put the Vikings behind the Eagles.
Yeah, because they
and honestly, I put the Commanders above the Vikings. I think they beat them in a playoff game.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. But
they're not going into Minnesota and winning a playoff game. There's no way.
I mean, you doubted Jaden Daniels from the start.
I didn't doubt Jaden Daniels from the start. I never doubted Jaden Daniels.
Hey, that is my offensive rookie of the year prediction.
Oh, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah.
He got that shit
No, I'm saying I called
up.
that from the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
I'm not calling that right now. That was on record from the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
That's like a million
That's one
to
of my
1 odds at this
godsons
point.
right now.
Hey, I mean,
soda.
they did what they had to do to the Eagles.
Hey,
So
you know what? And we got to talk about that because we got to say thank you to both of those squads, both the Eagles and the Commanders. Let's get into this next segment so we can be appropriate. We got to give our gifts. It is the holiday season, right, Flannel?
yes, and what do I got? Les Stanford.
I gotta tell you about Jars. Then you can tell them about Les Stanford. It's Jars Cannabis. All right, Woodward sports fans, whether you're hitting the game or just chilling, Jars Cannabis has you covered. Jars is home to Michigan's largest line of recreational cannabis products. They've got 27 locations across the state, so they are repping Michigan in a big way. 9 locations right now in Metro Detroit, so there's always one close by you as well, too. And don't fear, because if you live in Grand Rapids, Madison Heights, or Milan, Michigan, get ready, because stores are coming very, very soon. It's Jars Cannabis. You want to get high?
Absolutely. then
pay your car bill first.
Yeah,
then go to
pay your
jars.
car bill first.
Yes. Are you overdue for a new car? Beat the holiday rush and get an amazing deal from Les Stanford Chevrolet. Right now, a Blazer EV2LT with all-wheel drive is only $149 per month, or check out the Equinox EV LT for only $169 per month. Get to Les Stanford today, or click on the QR code on the screen and check out our massive inventory. Don't forget, Les Stanford has Cadillac, Buick, and GMC as well. Les Stanford in Dearborn and Ferndale, lesstanford.com.
Get energized for the holidays during the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Now through December 20th, join for $1 down, $15 a month. And recharge this holiday season and beyond in the clean and spacious judgment-free zone, filled with equipment for every workout. Stay motivated with free fitness training and lots more. Celebrate the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Join for $1 down, $15 a month. Hurry! Offer ends December 20th.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, you know, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
The bad boys from the NFL are here. Your 2024 Detroit Lions are the hardest hitting, highest flying, trickiest playing, grittiest team in the NFL.
A dominant team.
Get all your coverage of your favorite team right here in your favorite network, Woodward Sports.
$1,800 Tequila, official tequila of Woodward Sports, Lions watch parties and post-game show. Join 1,800 Tequila and Woodward Sports every Lions game. Live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township. And celebrate the wins with smooth 1,800 Tequila. Proud sponsor of your Detroit Lions. 1,800 Tequila, the best taste in tequila. Drink responsibly.
Not too sure if this goes together still, but Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza has a new limited time offer continuing through this football season. They're debuting their fresh signature flavored wings. Grab your friends, order a New York style pizza, and add some wings onto that order as well too, as you can see up there on screen. Try one of their 7 different flavors. And you know what? If you don't have time to hop in store, you can always order online at Sorokis.com.
Hey, what up, dog people? We are back in this Wake Up Woodward. And you know what? We gotta say thank you to somebody. It's the holiday season. How appropriate. We gotta give some gifts because they gave us gifts as well. It's only appropriate, right? The Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels. Talk about a big game player making big time plays in the big time moments, man. To sink the Philadelphia Eagles, bro.
Gotta give the Commanders their credit for sure. They won the game at Philly. Jaden Daniels led 3 big late touchdown drives to overcome some mistakes that he made and the mistakes of his teammates, to where they actually committed 5 turnovers and still won the game. They followed the blueprint of the Detroit Lions, actually. But I'm not Neil Rule. I don't wish for injuries. And on Jalen Hurts, the NFL's a better place when he's playing. However, the Lions were owed that one because the NFL's also a better place when Aiden Hutchinson, Ali McNeil, and Carlton Davis were playing. And the injury gods gave the Lions a backhanded gift by having Jalen Hurts exit the game and have Kenny Pickett enter in his stead. And I'm not even saying that Kenny Pickett was awful or anything like that. But if Jalen Hurts plays the whole game, the Eagles win. I have no doubt about it. But If Aiden Hutchinson plays against the Bills, maybe the Lions win. So I don't care. The Lions were owed that one.
That shit cost me my fantasy
I
playoff,
love the
man.
way you put it because those are the narratives that are going to be missing. I really feel like at the end of the season, and that's why I'm glad that the Detroit Lions just do not care. Because in this race for the number 1 seed, it is good to know that the pressure of, okay, the Philadelphia Eagles is not there. And that now this is on the Minnesota Vikings to go out there and they have to win 2 games to close the season. And one of those teams waiting is the Detroit Lions. I like our chances. I like them a lot. But it was refreshing to hear the players in the locker room while Dan Campbell was giving his press conference speech going crazy at the moment that the Washington Commanders when Jaden Daniels threw the touchdown. It wasn't at the moment they beat them, but obviously seconds later the victory became official. And it was awesome to hear them celebrating because to me it shows the human element of it all. These guys know that they're playing above their head. They know that these guys are having to do it for Hutch and now do it for this guy and do it for that guy.
Do it for everybody.
Do it for everybody. Do it for the city as well because you saw that draft picture. I think Terry and Arnold knows what this means, especially when he stood out there. They were like, oh, he's speechless. He's like, no. This is my new home. I'm just looking out at this car. Look at all these people. Like, and that's the awesome component of it. There's so much that's working right for the Detroit Lions and and just Detroit in general, man. That to have everything in your hands, to have this help, to have the pressure off, to be able to just breathe slightly and gear up for these last 2 games to go get a number 1 seed in a first round bye. It is awesome. So thank you to the Commanders and thank you to the Eagles as well for this holiday gift that you everly so nicely bestowed upon the Detroit Lions.
And thank you to Devontae Smith too. Did you see that drop? That is one of the worst drops you will ever see by an NFL player, and it was by Devontae Smith, who's usually got hands of glue. It was unbelievable. Kenny Pickett actually, and this is where I got to give Kenny Pickett some credit. He made as perfect of a throw as you can. That would have been the game-clinching first down or maybe even a touchdown. I think Devontae Smith had a clear path to the end zone, but Devontae Smith just drops it. And instead of being able to either take a 9-point lead or run out the clock, the Eagles had to kick a field goal, and Washington had plenty of time to go down, only down by 5, and get the game-winning touchdown. So shout out to the injury gods. Hopefully Jalen Hurts clean bill of health for next game. Shout out to Jaden Daniels. Shout out to Devontae Smith. And shout out to the resiliency of committing 5 turnovers and not giving up. There's many layers to that game.
I love it, man. I love it. And you know what, KG, this race for the number 1 seed, is there anything you wanted to say to the Commanders or to the Eagles on this fine Christmas Eve morning?
I mean, the Eagles, we knew it was coming. We knew they was going to drop a game. So they dropped it to the Commanders. Shout out once again to Jaden Daniels. Just put on a show, man. Like, that kid is special, bro. If he stays healthy, he's going to be a problem for a long time in this league, bro. Like, but ultimately, no, I'm not worried. The Lions got everything in front of them. We probably got to handle our own business. I know the Packers looked all great against the Saints last night, but I can't count on them, bro. And if it comes down to it, last game of the year in Ford Field, Lions gonna get it done against the Vikings, man. So
I'm not kidding when I say this. That Saints team that went out there last night would lose to the 0-16 Lions.
Yeah,
it was the worst team I've ever seen on an NFL field. They had all kinds of injuries. No Derek Carr, no Alvin Kamara, no Chris Olave, who's been gone for a while. I mean, they had Spencer Rattler starting at quarterback. Do I need to say more?
No, you don't.
And don't get me wrong, he might be okay someday, but he is not ready to play in the NFL. Oh, and his backup is Jake Hayner.
He'll never be an NFL quarterback.
He sucks.
But, yeah, like the Packers, I can't put stock in that victory. And watch them. They're going to play the Vikings real close next week. It'll probably be a nasty game. I predict a ugly, nasty defensive game, and they'll probably lose. So either way, the Lions, you got to handle your own business, man. Just do your job, and we'll get out of here with the number 1 seed.
And Steve-O baby, KG, the Eagles are going to bounce back. You know they are, just like the Lions bounced back when they lost to the Buffalo Bills. The problem is that it's too late for the Eagles.
Yeah.
As long as the Lions continue to take care of business, they're going to get the 1 seed, and the Eagles are going to get the 2. And to me, if I'm just predicting what I think would happen, I think that swings the game. I think whoever gets that home playoff game, whether it's the Lions or the Eagles, would win that matchup.
Yeah.
So the Eagles don't have time to bounce back. The Lions did, and they have.
And they have taken care of business despite all odds and adversity. There's no team in the league that has faced and gone through what the Detroit Lions have. And they don't just get to say that they faced that. They get to say that they have consistently overcome that.
Yeah.
That's what I love about this Detroit Lions team and the makeup. it should give them and it should give us ultimately extreme confidence as we approach these. Really, the playoff starts now.
Yeah.
It's almost as if they have a bye right now because it matters for the Vikings. And then they have that second game, that second week where it matters for the Detroit Lions. If they win that, then you repeat this all over again where you get that first bye effectively. And then you get to go into that second week where you're playing the game. And it's all the marbles are up for grabs then. So I am confident. That's my biggest takeaway. And I do believe that it's nice to feel a little bit more refreshed and comfortable to see the Eagles drop one when our team didn't.
And wouldn't you know that the Lions players themselves want the 1 seed?
Yeah.
Some of you Cowboy Rambo fans who don't care, be like the Lions players.
It's not to say we don't care, Sam.
Don't be Billy Tough Guy.
Context, Brody. Context. We're not saying we don't want it. We're just saying, regardless of what happens, the Lions gonna handle business.
Okay. I'm not even talking mostly about you, but kind of about you.
No, it's cool. I lead the charge of the Cowboy Rambo fan. We running up and shit and we sticking people up. What's up?
Sticking people up. Oh, yeah. Where the hoodie at?
Yep.
So then the Lions shouldn't have even cared about that result because they're going to get whatever
Here
seed.
we go.
Stick up.
Here we go. We just going to jump over the in-between and just go to one side. That's fine.
We on your porch.
He
already said it, man.
Right, man.
We here.
Masked up, man. What's up with it?
14.
We a few soldiers down. We still gonna do work.
Yeah, man.
Let's rock, man. I'm pumped up.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely pumped up.
Let the
And the good
streets
news
know.
is if they beat the 49ers and the Packers can do us a favor, then they get the 1 seed, which would be awesome.
Let's go. That would be awesome. Just give us a couple weeks, honestly, where, if the Vikings, if they lose, we'll talk about what to do in that second game when we get there down the road. Definitely. But we got to get to everybody's favorite segment. It is What's Trending. Let's say hello to a couple friends first, and then we'll get right into that segment.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you about that Tangerine Space Machine from New Holland Brewing Company. The new easy drinking IPA that is out of this world. It's smooth, it's juicy, with refreshing crushability. Take your taste buds to the moon with the Tangerine Space Machine. Grab yourself a case and a can of these today. This is the official beer of outer space right now, so it's on tap on the moon for you. Brewed by New Holland Brewing Company, straight out of Holland, Michigan, so you can support locally. But if you're not near a store where you can grab one, you can always get one at Second Best Bar, right, Kool-Aid?
Hey, yes, you can, because Second Best Bar, that's where the best Lions pregame party goes down. And you know what's happening December 30th for the 49ers game? The best pregame party in the city at Second Best Bar Monday night. And you want to be there for the ultimate fan experience. It is Second Best Bar, located at 42 Watson Street, so you're right in the middle of the action. Enjoy some smooth Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey while catching the Woodward Sports pregame show, only at Second Best Bar. Come get some.
Get energized for the holidays during the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Now through December 20th, join for $1 down, $15 a month. And recharge this holiday season and beyond in the clean and spacious judgment-free zone, filled with equipment for every workout. Stay motivated with free fitness training and lots more. Celebrate the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Join for $1 down, $15 a month. Hurry! Offer ends December 20th.
The Super Bowl parade in Detroit will be one for the record books. Detroit just does it different. Woodward Sports, your official Super Bowl or bust Lions network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Hey, it's the New Holland Brewing Company watch party. You got to join Woodward Sports and the Heavyweights live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township for the ultimate watch party. If you can't be at the game or if it's a road game, this is the place that you want to be. And if you can't be there, make sure that you stay tapped in via Woodward Sports Online. And we are streaming everywhere now. So stay tapped in, support your Wake Up Woodward family, and make sure that you're a part of the action as well. All of the biggest highlights and reactions going down right here on the Watch Party. And then right after that, with Stick and Ants in the post-game show, immediately following the game to bring you the instant analysis of the game and to bring you a little bit extra too, man. Look, their relationship is one of a kind, and it's one that is perfect blend of personality, entertainment, and information, breaking down the game the right way. And we want you guys involved, so make sure that you call in, or if you're there, we put the mic in your hand and you get to be a part of this show as well. All of this is on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports, brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Talk to Your Local Long Drink, 1800 Tequila, Soroki's, and Sabbath Coffee. Hey, and we are back, man, to the moon, JB Smooth, right?
To the moon.
It looks like Flannel Sam might be there. People think you're on that Red Bull right now.
Yes.
It gives you wings. Hey, you know what? Let's spark up Word to Jars, my brother.
Word to Jars. Let's do it.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
You're a mean one, Mr. Smooth.
Hey.
Let's ride.
Flannel.
Hey.
Why'd you do this?
JB Smooth be cooking, dog.
Why'd you make
That
this?
was Chase.
That was Chase.
Chase be cooking.
I made it really quick earlier.
Y'all leave that girl alone.
That's Chase GPT.
We will not leave that girl alone.
I know what she needs to leave alone.
Where's your
she was just
father?
working.
Right, she get the bag, man.
Where's your father?
You gotta do what you gotta do.
She's not okay.
You want to know the funny part about
What's
that?
up?
I heard that her mom is actually like her business manager when it comes to like this
Get
shit.
your bag.
Terrible
Oh,
business
Jesus
decision.
Christ.
No.
She is going to be a heroin addict in 5 years.
what?
So hard.
For the love of family
Get
value.
that
So
bag
hard.
here.
We have such a degenerate culture nowadays,
Thinking
people.
is hard. That's why most people judge. Let's chill.
Right.
Goodness gracious.
You
Heroin
could see
addict
it
in
on her
5 years.
face that she was ruined.
That's
having
on
that
her, man.
Having that many guys in such a short period of time, like that's
That's unimaginable. The big
That's
musket.
not-
It's a big musket. That's like what? Like
that was a good one, KG.
Well, let me try to get us out of this dark place that we've gone to right now.
Heroin addict.
Merry Christmas to everyone in the chat. Merry Christmas
out
to
Drew
all
K.
of us sitting around here right now. I know if you're going out there doing some last minute Christmas shopping, holiday shopping for food, whatever you have, try to get out there, be safe. But if any of these things happen to you, please just go back to bed.
Ooh, you knew that
my
hurt.
gosh.
You knew that hurt. Y'all got to throw the salt down, bro.
Oh.
Come on now. Oh my God.
Barefoot and all.
That's what you get for coming out there barefoot.
No.
Damn.
She hit the tombstone after.
Yeah,
like.
right.
Goodness. Sweet.
Oh. And trip.
Oh, momentum.
He just told her to.
Momentum, dog.
Just don't trip on the kayak.
At least he failed.
Oh.
Oh shit.
My goodness.
He's sleeping on the couch for a month, bro.
Oh
How
my
do you
God.
time that? Like, how did that happen?
Like I said, if any
That's
of those
like the
things
last
happen to
one,
you,
dog.
please just go right back to bed. Today is not your day. And this next video, I swear, when I seen it, I thought this was Stick. So,
Oh boy.
this is Stick's Christmas gift.
Wait, that's not Stick?
It's not Jericho.
Wait, that's not Stick?
That is not Stick's, unfortunately, no. But this will be a nice
Stick,
Christmas
bro.
gift for him.
Ain't going nuts.
Lions fans.
This is epic, dog.
Like I said, it's Stick's perfect Christmas gift right there for him.
How everybody in the house is going ham off this is so epic, dog.
Yeah.
Lions fans are on one right now.
Right.
Lions fans, they deserve all of
Is
it.
that all right? So
That is Stick. You can't convince me it's not.
I swear.
I have to throw this out here because I'm gonna try to be the voice of reason.
Here go the fun police.
We all love Jared Goff. Every single person in this room loves Jared
Are
Goff.
you about to slander Jared Goff?
No. That guy having that reaction over a cardboard cutout of Jared Goff is
You mind your mouth. You watch your fucking tongue. There will be no 16 slander in this goddamn studio.
No. It's a cardboard cutout. I just suggest you take some testosterone supplements. That's all. And I'm somebody who doesn't have a deep voice. I understand.
Flannel,
look at that guy. He's geeking out.
It's not about the gift. It's about the
cutout right here in the middle of us.
Probably will.
Right in the middle of us. Let's go, Jared Goff. Jared Goff. Jared Goff. I'm all for it, bro. I'm here.
Now the chat. Flannel hates Jared Goff.
Look at the Jared Goff. It's just taking over the chat right now. Shout out to you. Chat fam, smash that like button for Jared Goff, man.
Oh, man. I'm not going to read this out loud, but Rando Smalls with a rare good take today. You guys go ahead and read that. Because that's facts.
He's effectively insinuating that.
Yeah, I'm not reading that one.
Yeah, I won't read that.
I'm not going to read that one.
Is that a safe way?
No.
There's no safe way. Shout out to you, Randall Smalls. Happy holidays to you.
There's no safe way to read that one. And finally, I will end what's trending with this because I have found a video that has unlocked a new level of laziness for everyone. You guys know about just returning your carts to the little cart corral thing?
Okay, yeah.
Well, I've got a new way you can do that now.
Wait, what?
That's crazy.
Just get the exercise.
You just drive it back around.
Yourself the exercise. Someone's recording her too.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I have done this with my garbage cans.
Wow. This takes so much work. Like, just
just roll out the window, grab the handle, just wheel it. It's actually so easy.
Goodness gracious.
Well, we also have 3 garbage cans, so it's 2 trips. So I save myself 1 trip by grabbing one of the garbage cans I drop the driveway.
Has anybody ever heard of just a nice walk?
Right.
Like as Passion Pit says, take a walk. Take a walk. Is
this part of the new Flannel Sam mantra?
I mean, I like that. That's a great song, and you should walk your cart over to the corral.
John F. and Laura showed this to Neil. Neil would lose his shit if he saw it. Oh my God.
Like I said, a new level of laziness has just been unlocked. But that's it for what's trending,
baby.
you guys. Let's hop in some mailbag.
You know what? I'm going to throw the phone out there real quick. Are we good over there?
Should be.
313-552-6322. What's trending is brought to you by Jars. Hey, shout out to them up there.
Shout out.
We're going to get into this Feldman Mailbag segment. I'm going to throw that number out there again, and then we're going to hear from our friends at Feldman, and that's 313-552-6322. We want to hear from you on this, Christmas Eve.
On this Christmas Eve. But first, I got to tell you about Feldman. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
Hey, and it's time now for that mailbag segment, Wake Up Woodward mailbag segment, presented by Feldman Automotive Group. And shout out to the people that are still out and about. You know, this is going to be one of those busy days as the day goes on with people doing the last-minute shopping, last-minute cooking, last-minute travel and everything. So it's cool to see, Birmingham Rose and even Lady Jane's. People still coming in to get fresh, get fueled up, get a little bit of peek at Woodward Sports, man, to be on their way. So happy holidays to everybody. I'm hoping that everybody's holiday season has started off well, and definitely praying for everybody out there, man, to have a good holiday season. But we got to get into the Feldman Mailbag segment. If you call in again, that's 313-552-6322.
All right.
Let me see here if there's anything. And KG, definitely just give us an alert if people decide to get on
questions.
No Red Wings, you're done with them, huh? Nope. Hey, you know what? I will do this then as we wait to get some more Feldman Mailbag questions in there. I will bring one up about, I guess, the Pistons again. And just your confidence level. This team right now, they are 500 since starting 0-4. And just as it relates to the Detroit Pistons, are you solidly locked into this being a squad that you expect to make the postseason? Like, are you locked in? Is this the expectation? Are these the players that get it done? Even if they don't make any tweaks at the trade deadline.
100%. Good teams. I mean, and not even good teams because the Pistons aren't quite there yet, but any other version of the Pistons in the last few years would have blown that game to Utah and then went to Phoenix and went to Los Angeles and just lost those two, and hell, maybe even had a winless road trip. The fact that those young guys were able to stare across the court from guys like Kevin Durant and LeBron James and take it to them, even though those respective guys played well, these are guys they grew up watching and go home with wins. Huge, absolutely
and
huge.
those teams were teams that were over 500, teams that are in the playoff spots. And to see them go on this West Coast trip and get a couple dubs to start this thing after kind of a loss that they shouldn't have had against Utah Jazz. I'm telling you guys, it's my 4th, 5th season covering this team now. And every year, Rod and I look at these West Coast trips and we just kind of go. But this year is one in which I kept telling y'all I thought that the schedule actually set up favorably for them because they're confident. And when you have a team that's confident in playing with some of their pieces playing the way that they are, that's why I do believe you say, you know what, you got to lock them in. Why? Because even though you're still looking for offensive cohesion as a team and as a foundation moving forward, they have the right pieces in place.
Sure.
They have the right coach to be able to get the best out of who these players are going to be, even if they're not perfect and even if you want more individually. And the reason why that matters is because the teams beneath them, they are all fluttering. Not just to try and catch rhythm, but the Philadelphia 76ers don't even know what they're going to be as an organization and as a team moving forward. The Miami Heat have it leaking now that they're trying to shop Jimmy Butler. If you're trading Jimmy Butler, you're losing your heart and your soul. And I remember that the team came out and said, no. But Shams said, I stand by my reporting. And so you got these teams that are beneath them, and then a few teams ahead of them, like the Chicago Bulls, and you also got the Brooklyn Nets, and that are just below them as well. These other teams, I'm sorry, you see what they're already doing. The Nets already said it, that they re-signed Cam and Nick Claxton effectively for potential to flip them. Yeah. They're not serious. These organizations behind the Pistons are not serious. Even if the Pistons wanted to tank, JB Big, they just don't have it right now. Nope. They're literally better than that for the first time in a while.
And they will pass the Atlanta Hawks. Mark my words. They will pass the Atlanta Hawks. They're behind them right now.
Yeah, no, is it crazy to say I don't want to play? I'm just enjoying having good basketball again. And I know that's kind of a cop-out. But
I like this perspective,
it's being real, man. I don't want to overdo it because I do feel like they should be able to make the play-in as presently constructed. But at the same time, I can also see a lot of holes in this roster still. So while I do appreciate the good play, I'm just not ready to stand on a hill and say, yeah, they will make the play-in, they will make the playoffs or else. Like, I'm just enjoying that this is a much better product than what we got the couple years previous. And just, I'm loving what JB Bickerstaff is doing with these young players, putting them in positions to win. I just want to continue to see the growth, man. I'm loving seeing Cade Cunningham finally take that next step, being the guy that we paid him to be. I love seeing the improvement from Jaden Ivey, and Malik Beasley's been great for this team. There's a lot of good to like about this team. That's why I'm enjoying the ride right now. I'm cool. I'm chilling. And I already called them to win 35 plus. If they can get to that or even make a play in, that's an added bonus for me.
Yeah, definitely. If they win 35 at the current pace, they're going to definitely make that play in. Yep. And you know what? I don't fault anybody for having that perspective because you're able to rest knowing that the foundation is right. So whatever happens this season, as long as they continue to have that output and play with that heart and that passion, I get that perspective. For me, every year, 30 games beyond, and as we get through that first West Coast trip, always, every year, I make sure that me and the people, and we have to have Rod do it too, we tell the people which way we think this thing is going. The last couple years, we knew already by this time. Yeah. This season is one in which we know as well, and it's looking like a postseason berth for our Pistons. But this is a good question here from Iron Jack, hashtag Feldman Mailbag. Who is the next big thing in Detroit? I guess we have to decide who is that right now because you got guys like Aiden Hutchinson who made a huge leap this year. Yeah. He's already
massive though.
Massive. Cade Cunningham, I believe, especially when he gets this All-Star nod, it's going to already be. But I thought he was already that. So
me too, yeah.
Who do you consider that next big thing for Detroit sports?
Riley Green. Yeah. You could say that he's already there, but I think coming off of his first All-Star appearance, I think this is the season where he finishes top 7 or 8 in AL MVP voting. I think he's got that kind of talent and that kind of upside. So I'm going to go with Riley Green.
Man, and just another way to look at this as well, what teams don't have the next big thing? So if Pistons have Cade, do they have another? That's tough.
Another next big thing? I don't think so.
That's tough.
I don't think so.
But
that's
what's the
all
next
right.
big thing for you, JB Smooth, in the city right now?
Next big thing, well, I think I'm wearing this man on my hoodie right now. One Mr. J-Mo himself.
But I knew you were gonna say it. So I
got to go with my godson. Give me J-Mo.
That's where I'm at as well. J-Mo has definitely burst onto the scene and done the things that we had hoped, done the things that we believed he could do if he puts in that work and locks himself away with Jared Goff for the summer. What about you, KG?
I gotta go J-Mo. Because, you look, Aiden Hutchinson is already established because you got to count in his Michigan career as well. So he was already pretty big.
Jameer is kind of, that dude's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
K, like you said, I've been thought K was this. Now he's finally starting to show it to the masses, but I always knew this is the type of player that Cade Cunningham would be. I got to say J-Mo, man. I think J-Mo is really starting to establish himself as one of the best number 2s in the league. And who knows what the future holds, man. If he can continue to play like this and get better and better each year, he can be one of those top 5 receivers in all of football. So I think it's him.
What up, that dude, Justin?
I'm going to do 2 sports because one of them's the Lions, and that seems to be a very hit subject. But I'm going to go with Jahmyr Gibbs because of the fact that Monty went down, and he's really showing off what he can do in this backfield as the lead back. And the league is starting to be put on notice like, wow, this guy is very special. So Jahmyr Gibbs. And then I'm going to go to the Red Wings for a little bit of happiness. Axel Sendin Palenka, the defenseman we drafted a couple years ago out of Sweden. He's playing in the World Juniors this week for Sweden, and he is the most hyped prospect in the entire tournament out of any prospect that's an NHL prospect. I would, as any player can be a can't miss, this is someone who I would put a stamp on saying that this is a can't miss. This is a surefire NHL defenseman that will be very, very good when he gets to the league, even as a rookie.
I'm going to double down on the Red Wings and go with a different Swede, Simon Edvinsson. I'm really big on Simon Edvinsson. I see like what could be like our Victor Hedman for the Wings, and with his size and his puck moving ability. So
even with all the struggles that our team is having right now, we maybe have the 3 best defensemen in 2 or 3 years, like legitimately, and that's not just off hype of prospects. You've seen 2 of them materialize by now, and with the third one having even more talent than the first 2, it shows me that there's a path for him to grow to be what he's actually supposed to be.
Hey, what up, though? Summer, I see you over there. Who's the next big thing in Detroit sports, man?
Yeah,
tell the people.
I got to agree. I think it's going to be J-Mo for sure. Like Dan Campbell earlier in the season, he said, or I think over the summer, he said that this is going to be his breakout year. And he's been proving that, so I got to go with him.
And you just recently had a sit-down conversation with him, right?
Yes.
Hey, shout out to you as well. We're going to make sure that some of those interviews that Summer has done, they're going to be making their way over here to Woodward Sports as she joins the Woodward Sports family. So shout out to you, Summer. Shout out to that dude, Justin, and Cavassier Chase as well. Everything that these guys do for our show, I'm telling you, we're not a network without everybody that's here. Everybody. And that dude, Justin, Cavassier Chase, thank you guys for everything you do. Clips, socials, being a part of the crew, being good people, showing up and doing a lot. I know that a lot of it people don't know on the front end, but whenever there's something to do, even if you're not called, you guys are showing up. Justin, you're driving in from college sometimes. Chase, you're literally on call all day, and you're still making sure to handle the business. So I want to make sure that as we wrap up this show that we make sure that you guys, as we go into Christmas, we shout you guys out for the work that you've done, not just for the show, but for the network. Thank you guys for being good people and being good workers. Thank you guys.
Thank you for being a tremendous mentor, Kool-Aid. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys.
And Summer echoes that same sentiment as well.
I appreciate you guys. I'm for real, man. I don't even know how to take that type of stuff, man. I'm appreciative of you guys. I know that this doesn't work without everybody I'm looking at. So, shout out to William Baker, more people who are interested in being a part of this Woodward Sports and this Wake Up Woodward family, man. Thank you for being here. I can't wait to talk to you. But this elite booth, man, shout out to KG. Since he's gotten here, you talk about a guy who's only grinded and at a time where it was some influx, man, and it could have destabilized things. But you instead stepped up at a time when we needed as a network, man, and you took over the sounds, sometimes running 4 sounds a day or 3 sounds and filling in over here. Shout out to you, man, for everything you've done, everything you've been, and encouraging a lot of us. I don't think a lot of people understand how much that this team really encourages people, and you've been one of those people that have encouraged me personally a lot. I appreciate you being here, brother.
No, I appreciate
you,
that.
KG.
Hey, thanks, my dogs, man. I appreciate y'all. Much love for all of the WUW Crew. Everybody that's a part of this, everything that we put into all these shows, it's for y'all, man. And shout out to the chat for supporting us, because without y'all, this would not be possible, man. This shit came together pretty quick at a pretty hectic time, and we've been able to make this shit work, man. And that's why I always say, let's keep this shit rolling, bro, because we came in here at a time it was very uncertain as to what our futures was going to be, and we made this work with very little help, getting it off the ground ourselves, trying to keep the audience that was still a part of the previous morning show. So I just thank everybody, man. We appreciate the support. We come here, we work hard every day for y'all, man. And yeah, let's keep this shit rolling, man.
Definitely. Hey, Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth. We'll keep it professional right now, because I really want to be able to say thank you to really one of our chief technical directors here. It's you and Spinny are amazing at what you do and how you've continued to hold it down despite any ups, any downs. This network has remained consistent from a show standpoint because of a lot of things you guys do, especially you, JB Smooth, remotes and all of that. At a time when I was just looking, we're trying to improve operations. People don't know if that I'm looking. But to see that you were in the trenches, bro, to be showing up in at 6 a.m., setting up at some of the fabulous golf courses that we're at, and knowing it's just you. And I'm getting to you next, Flannel, because he wasn't even a part of the squad. You were doing other things, but still was like, JB's the only one doing it, so I'm gonna be doing it.
Yeah.
But JB Smooth, man, shout out to you and everything you do to just give of yourself. You continue to take on roll after roll after roll after hat. People
Chameleon,
don't know the half of it.
Big chameleon.
All of the new stuff that's about to hit. He's a part of our production team. Thank you, JB Smooth, for being a great person as well. I remember when my wife and I, we had the baby. You understood we were high risk, and you and your wife, you guys gave us some tokens of appreciation that went so far for my family, man. So thank you so much. Just the type of person that you are, brother.
Man, no thanks needed. Trust me, I should be thanking all of you guys right now, especially the chat family for sticking with us. With, as KG said, the highs, the lows, the ups and downs that we've had right now. Shout out to Woodward Sports just in general for just giving me a chance, giving me a shot. Just handing my resume to stick, and then from there it was history. With the audio booth, TD booth now over here, and just all the remotes that we've been doing, like the good that we're trying to put out there in the community as well too. Hey, Woodward Sports is the place to be, but I appreciate every single one of you for just being here in studio and supporting me as it is too.
We love you, JB.
Definitely. And this guy right here, the vet of the squad, the vet of the network, thank you to all of the other people as well who have sat here at this desk during these time slots as well, from Adam to Jeff, Terry Foster, Stick, Joey, Corey Woods, Flannel Sam multiple times,
Hey.
Jeff Iafredi multiple times, Terry Foster multiple times, and now Matthew Broder, our brother Matthew Broder, who started Wake Up Woodward with us.
Yeah.
But Flannel Sam, you've consistently just remained. You've consistently been one of those guys that, hey, I'll do whatever I'm called to do.
Pillar.
And you also, there's not one of you guys that listens to any of this on the podcast that listens to it, other than the fact that you are making sure that all that stuff is running behind the scenes. And you're Johnny on the spot with a lot of stuff, man, especially for wherever we have to do remotes, man, seeing you show up early, seeing you be prepared, and who you are as a person behind the scenes, Flannel. I just want to make sure that I shout that out. There was a lot of times where I didn't know which way was up, and you were one of those people in this situation that helped me a lot. And to this day, my number one moment, and I was here for Pistons getting number one draft pick. I hosted the stream where we drafted Cade. My number one moment still is Flannel Sam at probably my scariest moment here, walking through this studio doing a live show and dapping me up when I finally got the sounds right. Thank you, Flannel Sam. Obviously, I could say a lot more, but I just want to be able to, say thank you to you, brother.
Thank you as well, Kool-Aid. And that was certainly a day, because taking a phone call on Ermanni and Edwards with the gaze from hell from Tom Mazaway is a high pressure situation, and I love Maz, but he's a fussy MF or something.
It's national calls. It's people who are on
Nobody care about
ESPN
Maz.
and people on NFL Network, and it's just like, call Mark Schlereth.
Yep,
What?
Right.
Okay.
Dude, I got the call Isaiah Thomas one time. I'm like,
what?
Oh,
Yeah, it's
wow.
like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then we already know how the system is going sometimes.
Oh man, what? Listen, anybody got a problem with Flannel Sam? Got a problem with me, man? Y'all lay off my dog, man. The amount of preparation this guy does, man. Like you said, the person he is behind the scenes, man. I got nothing but love for Flannel, bro. So
love you, KG.
y'all do something to Flannel, I'm fuck you up.
Hey,
I'm
just
let you know.
Goes both ways.
Chad, man, the ownership group, the others that help run the thing. Shout out Bethany and all the Lady James people. I'm gonna just get all of this off, man. The people in the back, Brady, Chris, Ryan, new Noah, old Noah. You know what? Just shout out to everybody, all the other shows, man. I just want to make sure I'm probably forgetting somebody, but just shout out to you guys as well, chat family. This is awesome to be able to do and to be a part of, and you guys are a big reason why. Smash that like button for us. It's your boy Brandon, aka Detroit Kool-Aid. I'm thankful for my family. Shout out to Queen Kool-Aid, Kid Kool-Aid, and all the rest of you guys as well. Man, let's get that chest pass and we'll get out of here.
Merry Christmas.
Woo. Man, I'm glad to be doing this. Hey, have a happy holiday season. Have a great day, you guys.
What is that?